News with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz.
My left stroke just went viral. Right stroke put a baby in a spiral. Soprano C, we like to keep it on.
All right, what's up, everybody? Wes Moore with you. Thank you for joining us. It is Out of Bounds, and a little different start for you today. Starting a little early. We wanted to get this kind of rolling, and that way when as soon as Ryan Silverfield takes the podium, we can go straight to Fayetteville, play it live. Hunter Yurachek is expected to meet with the media and then introduce Ryan Silverfield, the next head coach, your 35th head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks, and expecting the live coverage to begin here in a few minutes. Got our eye on that. So we'll get that to you. We're going to talk some Razorback basketball today. Nice victory for Arkansas, very important victory for Arkansas, knocking off Louisville last night, 89-80. And we'll talk about the players of the game. And there were several, in my opinion, that came up big for Arkansas. It looks like Hunter Yurachek is moving to the podium and getting ready to get this press conference started. Also getting some looks like a bad stream. It's starting to – their internet connection may not be very good up there. Because it's buffering on us. I'll check some different sources to make sure we get the best available one. Here's a different one. Let me see this. We're not missing anything yet. Yeah, nobody's going live yet. So either these streams aren't working really well for the university, or they're dumping out of the coverage. But I did see Hunter Yurachek. They looked like he was walking through, getting ready to speak to the media. Let me try this one here. And nothing. Okay. Well, in the meantime, while we wait for them to get the press conference started, we can talk a little basketball with Arkansas outscoring Louisville 47-29 in the first half. That's really, that gave them a little buffer to, have some issues in the second half. Louisville, a good team, number 6 in the country. You expect them to make a run, and they did make a run in the second half. And got it to within 5 one time, got it within 6 a couple of times, and seemed like every time Arkansas had a response. And they made some key plays down the stretch. Christian, try to take this, see what this sounds like. Got Hunter Yurachek.
Today is truly missed,
right,
and I know that you all
Hunter.
will join me in keeping Nate's family in our thoughts and prayers today and during the course of this week.
Buffering.
Let me try a different one. Every one I keep going to, and I'm trying some different websites, and every one of them is buffering and having some issues. So I don't think it's a.
As I talk to coaches around the nation about this opportunity, it reaffirmed what I believe about our program. We can build a championship football program here at the University of Arkansas. The top-down alignment of a new financial commitment from our Board of Trustees, the university, the Department of Athletics, and so many generous donors that have taken place over the past several weeks was the first step to us being all in on this goal. This financial commitment will push us to the top half in key SEC items such as our assistant coaches pool, our strength and conditioning staff, our support staff pool, and our talent acquisition through revenue sharing and legitimate NIL. With the financial picture coming together, the next step was finding a head coach that was all in. I know for many in the Razorback Nation, coaching searches can last what seems like a lifetime, especially one that starts mid-season. There's the passion of our fans, the speculation, the debate, the misinformation, and a lack of credible information because of the tight searches that I run.
Still going through some technical issues.
Yeah,
would
it's
appear.
buffering on us, Christian, and we're losing the feed. Hunter Yurchek, the number one thing I took out of that was the commitment from the university. The resources are now in the top half of the SEC, and for any program, no matter who the coach is, if you don't have the resources, it's going to be hard to compete and get the players in that's needed. And for Hunter Yurchek to basically start his press conference and come out and say that that is...
I could not get anyone to say anything negative about Ryan. Everyone raved about the type of person he was, his character, his work ethic, the culture he builds, the love he has for his players, and that he's a great football coach.
Those words carry weight. This program was built on toughness, pride, that stretches from the hills of Fayetteville to War Memorial Stadium and Little Rock. That is what drew me here. Before I go any further, I want to thank Chancellor Robinson, Hunter Yurchek, the Board of Trustees, and all of those in the search committee and everyone else who believed in me to be the head football coach at the University of Arkansas. I want to thank my wife, Katie.
Well, it keeps buffering.
We're trying. We're efforting, and what we're getting is streams across the state. They're all dropping, and I've got multiple streams going, and none of them are staying up. I will try a different stream.
Those two beautiful girls sitting right there, Adeline and Cecilia. Anybody that knows a coach.
Well, it just stopped on me too. Nope. We've had Yurchek. Now we've got Silverfield talking. And is that it?
No, our TV doesn't work.
No. Go back to the radio, or go back to my stream. We could turn the TV up and get a microphone over there. Is that possible?
I don't know.
I got one more for you. Yeah, my apologies. We tried to make it work, and it's just not happening.
We used the same method when after Sam Pittman got fired.
Yeah.
We just plugged the laptop up, streamed it, everything worked fine.
We need you with us. We need you to be all in. We want you to look at this team and say, they fight like Arkansas. Being all in together, we will rebuild it. We will earn it.
Well, I think I speak for everybody, say welcome, Coach. I'm curious.
Media. Trey Biddy from hogsports.com is asking Hunter Yurchek about the first conversation with him.
Just kind of the conversations that went on throughout that, and I'm sure you interviewed several candidates also along the way.
Yeah, I mean, the long runway of almost 60 days allowed me to talk to informally to about 25 to 30 coaches during the course of that time, narrow that field down to 8 or 9 that we had some very formal interviews with, and narrow that down to 3 that we had some intensive in-home visits with, and then narrowed that 3 down to 2 that we really zeroed in on that we thought both would be great coaches. The first conversation for Ryan and I was by way of Zoom, and we connected with our small college roots, him having been at Hampton City, me at Guilford College. They compete against each other in the ODAC, and that was a common bond for him and I right out of the gate. But I could tell Trey that him and I would work well together, and I think that's really important for an AD and a head football coach, because you got to get in that bunker together, and you got to build this program together, and that's the only way that truly works.
Your impressions of the first contact and the conversations that followed?
Well, listen, I've understood how much this football program, this university mean to this state, and I knew that from my 10 years, and then having the opportunity. Listen, there were people that called and programs that called and universities, but when the University of Arkansas called, I got excited. Because I understand the passion, like I talked about, all the things that make this place so special. And so the opportunity to visit with Hunter and really just to get to know each other on the surface and to talk about things, talk about his beliefs, his core values, what he wanted for this program, it aligned directly with me. And as Hunter just mentioned, that is so important, right? Because I was so fortunate to be at a place that I found special in Memphis for 10 years. But to me, to take that next step, it was important that I aligned with the athletic director, that we shared some common things, some beliefs, that stand on the right type of merits of what we want this thing to look like. And so initially just very pleased, and I said this is an opportunity that if it so happens to go, I'm all for it.
You've had a lot on your plate, obviously, with the recruiting and talking to all these players individually and stuff. I don't even know if you've finished that yet, but you've also got to hire a staff, and I'm sure you've talked to guys, and you probably bring in some people from Memphis. I was wondering where you are with that process, when you would like to have the staff complete.
Yeah, Trey, it's the wrinkles over my eyes are probably from lack of sleep between Hunter and I. We were joking around last night. I don't know if either of the rest are getting much these days, but that's a great thing because we're pouring into things that are important to us and that matter. And obviously, hit the ground running, like I mentioned at the basketball game last night. From the moment I stepped foot, getting the recruits, the right ones, right, and some of these great ones in state to stay at home, and that was important to me, and I know it's important to our great fans. But then, part of it has been putting that staff together. And so in between phone calls, in between meeting with the players, I've met with every scholarship level player so far and had one-on-one conversations face-to-face, because that's important to me, is understanding who we are and what we're about and what else we need to do and what my job as a head coach is to improve this place for these guys, especially those that are coming back and mean so much to this program. And then the staff is coming together nicely. Obviously, a lot can't be shared publicly until they're sitting here. As a media, like you're going to be blown away by the staff. It's going to be a bunch of high-character coaches. Coaches are going to love the players. They're going to pour into them. They're going to love this community. They're excited to be here, that want to rebuild this thing the right way and know how special Arkansas is going to be. So we're going to bring in a bunch of guys and a bunch of people that are going to make everyone really, really proud.
Hunter, you've mentioned expanded financial commitment. Details, though. Can you give details as to what that looks like?
Pat, I think it's our competitive advantage not to give details of what that is, other than to tell you that it is a significant investment in all aspects of our football program that will move us to the top half of spending in all those categories I mentioned in the Southeastern Conference. And I don't believe we need to be at the top of spending. We need to be somewhere where we're really competitive. And Ryan and I are on the same page with where we are. It allows him to go out and hire the assistant coaches that he believes he needs to hire to build a championship program and to invest in our revenue sharing and legitimate NIL to make sure that we acquire the best talent for our roster.
And Ryan, for you, how important was it for you to hear those words as you went through the interview process?
Well, one of the things that, and Hunter had these discussions early on is, listen, give us a chance. Give us a fighting chance, and I promise you we're going to win a lot of football games and do it the right way. And I think I appreciated that because it's, like you said, we don't have to be at the top. You give us a fighting chance, we are. But this day and age, we also understand how important it is, right? Doing things the right way, being able to build the right staff, being able to provide for our players in this new age of college football. I always look at those. A lot of head coaches look at other things as challenges. I look at them as opportunities for us moving forward. But we know, and that's part of it. And part of my job as a head football coach is to assist Hunter and the rest of the athletic department to see what else we can go and do and out there. And I'll just say this, over the last 48 hours, there's been a lot of excitement about what's going on, and that's going to allow us to continue to build this program from every infrastructure, with whether it's resources, whether it's just the excitement, the belief, season tickets. We're going to keep pushing that right direction.
And Hunter, for you, in the middle of looking for a coach, you took on the chairmanship of the playoff committee. Logistically, how did that affect the search? And then did you have to did your higher ups need some assurance that you were going to be able to balance those correctly?
I mean, the benefit of being the chair and just on the CFP selection committee is I'm required to watch a significant amount of football during the course of the week. And so I was able to watch football, evaluate coaches, evaluate how their teams played, because I was required in my commitment to the CFP to do that. So it allowed me the opportunity to really see how coaches perform, their demeanor on the sidelines, how hard their teams play on both sides of the ball. And so I was able to do both of those because I have an incredible staff, our senior administration, our support staff, all of our head coaches. I mean, they just do an incredible job, and they allow you to step away from the day-to-day responsibilities of an athletic director and know that everything's going to get done because just the people behind you that work so incredibly hard to make sure that this runs when I have to step away and do, whether it's the CFP duties or I'm away on the head coaching search trail.
Yeah. Hunter, on the new and significant financial resources,
yes,
I'm wondering, the fans want to know how much is on hand, how much is committed, how much is still to go? Where do you stand?
We're not to the finish line, but I will tell you from a fundraising standpoint, we're off to a great start. What the athletic department is going to commit is significant, and that's how we're going to kind of reallocate some of the dollars that we have. The university, through a direction of the board, is going to make a commitment to our football program as well, and all of that's significant. I don't want to tie a specific dollar amount to any of that because I don't want to limit what we can do, and also I want to make sure that we have a competitive advantage. I think once you put your financials out there and tell other schools what you're doing, then it allows them the opportunity to come meet you where you are or exceed where you're at.
Ron, a lot of head coaches came here before you that did not win. Why is it that you can come in and build a winning program here?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, first and foremost, it's always going to start with the players. And, we got gentlemen here today that are going to be committed to doing it the right way, that believe. And that was so fortunate for me, like just immediately understanding what we have on this roster and going out and finding. I think you guys got to see the work that could be done in 24 hours. Give me 24 days. Give me 240 days. Give me 24 years. All right? And you're going to see a winning program. And I think that can happen immediately. It's not one of these things where we're sitting here saying, hey, Hunter, I need 3 years to rebuild this. No, we can start rebuilding the culture the moment we step down, the moment I had the opportunity to sit face-to-face with these guys and talk to them and see what they're all about and tell them what I'm all about and how we're going to do this thing together. And I firmly believe it starts with the players in the locker room. That everybody always says, Ryan, tell me about your culture. What's it like? What's it mean to be all in? And I always say, go see the players in the locker room. Go see those players that have been over to my house, the people that my wife has got to know and to pour into as well. And that's what it's all about. And the staff we're going to be able to put together. There are so many things about the state of Arkansas, so many things about this university, and so many things about this football program that are going to set us up for success. Right? There's a proof behind this program, the way we're going to work. We're going to outwork everybody in this country, okay? And our players are going to believe in that. We're going to do it the right way. We're going to build an excellent culture, a sustainable one, year in, year out, and we're going to make our fans very, very proud.
You got a first-hand look at Arkansas football this year.
Yes, sir.
And that was basically the story of the season. Did not close the game out. How do you get from that point to winning a ton of games?
Yeah, I think part of that is, right, just finding ways. And, listen, at Memphis this past year, we found ways to finish some games, and we found some ways not to. And that's the nature of college football. The margin for error continues to shrink, right? And just brief synopsis of what I saw from Arkansas is, we have to find ways to be more disciplined, right? Whether that's penalties, all those things. I think just the leadership, right? And a lot of the players have come to my office and say, Coach, I think we want to step up the leadership. Okay, well, good. That has to start right now, right? We can't wait till we get back on January 14th. That has to start right now. And guys buying into the way we're going to do things. I think the way you condition in the offseason, the way you condition during the season, what does that look like? A great understanding of situational football. Now, ultimately, we look at, I don't get much into statistics, but you want to talk about ball security and turnover margin. I think that's been an issue. In Memphis, we were, over the last 10 years, we're one of the best teams in the country at turnover margin, significantly more so the last 5 years. And that's important. That's how you win those games. And then finally getting guys to believe, guys that are going to be resilient, guys that are going to finish and fight every single play. And if you do that, you give yourself a chance.
Hey, Ryan. Jackson Fuller, Southwest Times Record. What will you be valuing most in assembling your staff? Is it SEC experience, your own personal relationships? How are you going about that in terms of what you're valuing?
Yeah, Jackson, listen, I always have valued experience. And I think that's important. But most importantly, great coaches and great leaders of men. And you can say, well, that sounds like coach speak. That's not. Because I believe that how you do anything is how you do everything. And we're going to find coaches that are going to truly pour into these guys. And they may think it's corny, but I'm going to tell them, these coaches are going to love them. They're going to hold them accountable, okay, to everything these guys say they want to do. And they're going to make sure they achieve exactly what we say we're putting out there. And we talk about standards and all those things, but coaches are going to set the standard and push the players to meet that standard. And look, there's coaches that are coming aboard that have SEC experience. All right, they'll be here before you know it, and we'll be able to talk about them and write about them probably the next time we all get together. There's some coaches that have some NFL experience. There's some coaches of various backgrounds, coaches I've worked for before, coaches that are going to make sure the lights stay on in this building, whatever the hell it takes. So all sorts. But, I can't wait for you guys to meet those people that are going to be with us, and it's going to be very, very exciting times.
Hunter, another financials question. I know you won't give us the details, but when what can you point to fans and say, right here is evidence that we have stepped up our financial game in the SEC?
It will come when he announces some of the people on his staff. That will be the first piece. And then when you see how our roster comes together after the transfer portal officially opens in January, you see we've got a couple of young men in here that are coming back. That's a part of the financial commitment that we've made into our football program to be able to retain those high caliber, very talented young men that we want to be a part of our program and the leaders of our program. And so I think when you look at what the staff looks like, the support staff as well, and then the players that become a part of this program, that will show you the financial commitment we've made to our football program.
Hunter, sorry, another financial question.
Go ahead, sure.
If I understood you earlier, you said there were going to be some reallocation of funding within the departments. Where is it going to be reallocated from? Is it other sports, or kind of how is that going? Or is there another revenue source coming in? Or
Yes, and yes. I mean, just a couple of different revenue sources that we're looking through, both through our foundation and through the athletic department, and then just how we reallocate money that we're currently spending within our department, whether that's from a salary standpoint, an operational standpoint. But we feel like we can do some things differently to be more efficient, that we can reallocate more dollars to our football program.
And also looking over the term sheet for Coach Silverfield, I noticed that the buyout, it's not the tiered one that you had for Coach Pittman based on winning percentage. I'm curious what the reasoning was behind that.
Coach Pittman didn't have the same agent to start out with that Ryan does now. And so not many agents will advise their coaches to accept that buyout the way we had it set up. It was much more favorable to the institution. I think this is kind of a middle ground, that it's favorable to the coach and favorable to the institution.
And then, Coach, for you, I noticed that Scott Gasper is going to be a guy that's going to be following you over. I'm curious, kind of what role did he have with you at Memphis, and kind of how do you envision his role helping you here at Arkansas?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what exactly is I'm allowed to talk about because some things are certain. But there will be people joining us from Memphis. Some will have different titles, some will have different roles. But there's so many great people there. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here today if it weren't for that great staff at the University of Memphis and all those people, right? I think about 27 years of coaching, all the people that allowed me to get here today. But listen, as things come out, as people are able to get their contracts under, and we'll be able to discuss them at plenty. And I'll be thrilled to make time to kind of discuss the wonderful people that are going to be joining us here in Fayetteville.
Ryan, Christina Long from WholeHogSports.com. Heard one of your roles at Memphis when you were an assistant coach was some involvement in fundraising. Is that something that you kind of talked to Hunter about in the interview process and something you plan on using here?
Yeah, listen, first off, we know as a head coach, you have to wear every hat, right? Whether that's picking up trash, whether that's being a CEO and fundraising, whether that's getting my hands in the dirt and teaching a lineman, make sure they're stepping the right direction. But that was part of something that I took pride in. I understand the way college football is going, right, towards the NFL model, all these things, but you still always have to fundraise. I don't care if you're a head high school coach in Savannah, Georgia, or the head coach of Arkansas. That's part of what is needed. And until they say, hey, we're just going to play for free, I don't know if, and we're not playing with monopoly money, there's always going to be the need for fundraising. And so I told them, and I told his staff already, it's my job to help assist that. And, we can do that first and foremost by winning football games. But I'm happy to go knock on doors, to go meet some of these people. And I think part of that is just building the relationship, right? I can't wait for so many of our great fans, so many of our great donors, so many people that have already stepped up and said, hey, I want to help out. But just building those relationships and let them understand what I'm all about, what our young men are all about, who they truly are. And that's what's been so special to me. Like, you sit there and you have a narrative of coaches, of what you think they are and who they're about. You have a narrative of what you think of a program and the players. And then I have the opportunity to sit down with them face to face and get to know them and get, to tell that story. And that helps the fundraising as well. And I can't wait to develop so many of those relationships. But yes, long-winded answer, that was part of what I did at Memphis, and we're going to go to it full force here.
Hunter, you'll never guess what this is about, but are there plans to implement a student athletic fee as part of this new financial commitment?
There is not. That is not something that at least has been discussed from an athletic department standpoint. If that's something that the board and or the university decides that they feel is the right direction to head, that would be their call, not the athletic department call. But from an athletic department standpoint, we have not discussed that.
And then to you, just what would a successful first year of the Silverfield era look like?
It's already off to a great start when you talk about the recruiting class, the kids that he flipped in the first 24 to 48 hours, the young men that he's convinced that this is the right program to be a part of, and just putting this team together, putting this staff together, and really giving our fan base some hope for the future of our football program and what that can look like will be a successful first year. And let me touch on his fundraising prowess. He doesn't even know this yet. So he was in the Courtside Club last night, and he was doing what he does in building a relationship with donors right off the bat. He walked away from one donor. The donor came up to me and committed to a 7-figure gift to our football program, just with a brief 5-minute encounter. He didn't even know he'd done that.
Like I gotta go meet some more people. I'll see it.
I think you see kind of the personality he has, and he can quickly build relationships and sell his vision to our fan base.
Yeah, Hunter, just following up on that example, how did the financial backing come together over the past few months with board, donors, et cetera?
Yeah, I mean, it's been the board's had some significant discussions internally as a board, so I can't speak to those discussions. I was not a part of that. I provided some financial data to them. They asked the university to make a commitment. They asked the athletic department to reallocate dollars to make a more significant commitment. And then Ryan White, the executive director of the foundation, and his team and myself, we've been working for the last 30 to 45 days on that fundraising trail.
What was the process like? How long was it to kind of do that review of the department's finances and allocating the money?
It's been very quick because when you're out looking in a football coaching search, I mean, football coaches want to know what their assistant coaches pool is going to be. They want to know what their support staff pool is going to be. They want to understand the revenue sharing and the NIL opportunities before they're going to dive headfirst into a job. And so we had to put all that together and make a commitment to that pretty quickly.
Ryan, big Arkansas senior class, and also just the day and age of the transfer portal. How many spots are you expecting to be filled by your Memphis players?
I can't even comment on that. But listen, we dealt with 78 new players this past year at the University of Memphis, and we know there's going to be turnover. That's, like you said, that's what college football is all about nowadays. But I can't comment on what that will look like, but we're going to look all over and find the best fit for us, right? And no different than recruiting. It's not about just taking the 4-star. It's about finding the best fit for our locker room and the culture that we're creating.
Coach, Hunter mentioned Nate Allen a while ago, and it's odd as this is, the last conversation I had with him Sunday, the last thing he said to me is, you ask Coach if he plans to have anyone on his staff from Arkansas. He's, I'm too sick to go. And that was Sunday. That's the last thing is you.
No, listen, and I had much respect for you asking that question on its behalf. As we assemble the staff, listen, people that understand this great state, that's important to me. Okay, and not only I think about this, I think about my nights in the Bass Pro Shop pyramid overlooking, and I'd always point out to the recruits and say, see that bridge right there? That goes to the great state of Arkansas. And we've had a lot of players I've been able to coach, and I've recruited this wonderful state for so long and had relationships. In fact, I think I was looking at it even when I was talking to Hunter. I think a third of the guys on the roster already at the University of Arkansas, at some point I'd had a conversation with over the last 4 or 5 years. Quincy, I was his first offer out of high school, and he won't admit how small he was when I first offered him. And that relationship, I just think like, man, it comes full circle. And there's some of these guys. I was sitting down with some of these players that I was sharing with Hunter that a couple of them, they're like, well, you beat me at this previous school, then you beat me this past year. I'm staying part of this team because I don't want to have to go against you again. But we will look for people in the staff that make sense. I assume that there are going to be some people with some good ties to this great state and this wonderful university. Yes, sir.
Coach Ryan, Evan Camico, Pig Trail Nation. Curious for you, you were involved in the Memphis community. What excites you about getting involved in the Arkansas community here in Northwest Arkansas? As last night, yelling in fans' faces as well. What just excites you about the future here?
Yeah, Evan, I mean, if you can't go and see what those the students, absolutely amazing. They kept me from doing it. I was gonna put on one of those overalls with the stripes on it, but they didn't know. I mean, I thought it was gonna be pretty cool, but I withheld myself. But those students got me fired up, and that's that passion of the fan base. I mean, just seeing it. From the moment I touched down, the first thing we went and we watched him, and I got to talk to Coach Cal and how much he loves this place. And I got to hear about those things. And then you think about the Children's Hospital of Northwest Arkansas. Like, to me, we're going to give back to this community. My wife and I are going to do everything we can to make this place as great of a place as we can. And how can we give back? Like, what are some community things that we can do? We were 5th in the country at Memphis last year in community service hours. And to me, that's as important as anything we do, because I think if we can give back to the community, right, it means so much. And a lot of those people are going to be, in the stands and being season ticket holders. So whatever we can do, I'm all part of it. And, I know there's a Veteran Affairs, there's a VA hospital here. Like, that was something I was huge with in Memphis, giving tickets to the vets. As soon as it slows down, if it ever does, maybe February, I'm going to get out and want to visit with the VA and see how we can help them. There's so many great organizations and so many great people in this community. My family and I are going to do everything we possibly can to give back.
Last one for me. You had those two guys over there just come in here and say they're all in for you. What excited you about getting those guys back for 2026?
Well, listen, it starts with the type of, and I'm not trying to repeat myself. It starts with the type of young men there, because I had an understanding of who they were, and anybody can watch film and know that they're super talented, and know that there's also, like I told them, I said, guys, we haven't scratched the surface, and they know both that. Like, that's why I said I'm going to push them, I'm going to challenge them. And when they sit there and say, "You're right, absolutely," and you sit down with a kid and you tell them you're going to push them and hold them accountable, and they start sweating and batting eye. I'm like, cool, get out of my office. Good luck to you. But those two, it's the mindset, the integrity, the approach. They want to be leaders. They want to see this team succeed, right? I told them, like, there's no more of this loser mentality. And they've bought into it. And in a quick term, and they're going to be the ones that infect the rest of the locker room in a positive manner and say, hey, this is what it is. This is what it looks like to be all in. This is what our culture is about. This is what Arkansas football needs to look like. So guess what? Just like what everybody said, wow, great first week. We're not even, I think I've been here for like 10 months, but I think I've been, a couple of days. Like, wait till the week keeps going on. Wait till the weekend. We're not sleeping, okay? When we're going to build this thing the right way. And again, it starts with the great players that are already on this roster.
Yeah, Anthony Christensen. Okay. Anthony Christensen, HawkSports.com. Ryan, just got to see a little bit of it when Arkansas played at Memphis earlier this year, but I guess just what are the main, aspects of an identity you want for your first year, with the roster, with the coaching staff, et cetera?
Yeah. I'm not going to give you a coach speak answer, okay? And just no different when people say, give us here's the deal. You're going to have a bunch of guys that love football, a bunch of guys that are going to be tough, a bunch of guys that are going to be resilient, a bunch of guys that are going to love each other, a bunch of guys that are going to work really hard to make this state proud. And that shows up in between the white lines, right? I truly believe, there's a direct correlation to how we do things off the field, the culture that we're going to build. It shows up on game day. And when people watch this, they're going to say, man, that team plays with relentless effort. That team cares about one another. They're going to be disciplined, they're going to be detailed, and they're going to fight their asses every single day to give everything they have.
Ryan, congratulations, welcome. I heard a cut of yours in a recent interview about this is not a 3-year turnaround. This is something that we're going to turn around in a hurry. What's your message to the fan base for how and why that will happen? Well, it is. This is a different day and age. Things do take time. Right, the culture to build, you have to build that every single day, and that's what it's going to start with. And you're going to have to put the pieces together. And when I say it's going to happen, people say, well, project the number ones. I can't do that. I can tell you this, we're going to be the best in the country at what we can control. And that's right, the attitude, the effort, the approach every single day. Those things, we're going to be the absolute best in the country. But that's something we got to work to build. And there's going to be some people that are currently on the roster that are going to be back that we're going to have to make sure, hey, it may take a little bit more pressing. But these freshmen we're going to bring in, these young guys, we're going to have to develop them, right? We're going to recruit the heck out of high school football players and develop them. We're going to be the best in the country at developing. But what that looks like, similar to what Hunter said, is we're already starting to see a movement in how these guys are believing and what they want and a positive mindset. I already told them, we're changing out light bulbs. The other night I said, I want brighter light bulbs down here. And someone looked at me like, what? I said, yeah, not, next month. I said, no, tonight if I got to go to Walmart myself and start changing them out, I will. But that's part of it. I want these guys to say, man, this is different. This is going to feel different, and we're going to go earn everything we do. But she knows exactly what I'm talking about. When I FaceTime her at 12:30, she says, "Where are you at?" I'm still at the office. I'm up on a ladder changing some bulbs. No, it's just part of it, and I think it's one step at a time. We're going to take this one day at a time. But if you do it the right way, it's going to show up in results on Saturdays.
Hunter, just one quick one on the logistics. When we talked to you, when the change was made, you were one of the first ones in this cycle to make the coaching change. A lot more followed. Did maybe the number of openings complicate the search at all?
Not really, Daniel. I mean, I think we're all kind of swimming in the same pond with the same coaching candidates when it all came to, when you saw how it all kind of fell out and fell into place. Many of the people that were in the final 8 or 9 that I talked to are now head coaches at other institutions, and so you do have to wait till some dominoes fall for sure. But I don't know that it overcomplicated things because there's always a lot of openings. This was an inordinate amount of openings, but it didn't necessarily overcomplicate it. It gave me an opportunity again during those 60 days to talk to the right number of coaches, determine who was truly interested, who was truly a good fit, who was not interested, who was trying to get a raise at their current institution, things of that nature, and then really narrow that field down to a group of quality coaches.
Hi, Ryan. Overall, just what excites you the most about getting the opportunity to coach in the SEC, and how do you get Arkansas back to that standard of winning in the SEC?
Yeah, Tyler, great question. I think it starts with, we understand that this is the best conference in college football, okay? And the excitement of not just coaching the SEC, but coaching at the University of Arkansas, a place that I believe is going to set the standard in this conference, okay? And that may take a little bit of time, but we are going to be the standard of what an SEC football program will look like. And how do we get it there? Similar to what I said earlier, it's every single day, giving everything we have and pouring into this program. As Hunter alluded to earlier, that the resources that we've been given and we're going to continue to fight for are going to be a huge part of stepping in that right direction. And then ultimately the players getting the buy-in, the work, right? I mean, they won't allow me. I made the joke when I was flying over the stadium landing here. I was like, man, it'd be great if we go and start spring practice, or maybe we can steal a couple of bowl practices or do something like that. I'll be itching and scratching to get on the field, get those guys in the weight room, start meeting with them, implementing our scheme, and teaching them what it's all about.
And then this defense last year was kind of in the bottom of the barrel for a handful of aspects in the conference. I guess getting a guy like Quincy back is a great start, but how do you plan to reshape the identity of this defense?
For sure. Listen, I've met with a lot of the current players and see where they fit and what our future looks like. It's always going to start with the current roster, okay? And then, what does that look like? Are there some young guys, I think, that may have not gotten playing time that, you know what, they just need to get, and they need the opportunity to continue to develop and maybe understand what the coaching needs to look like in order to get them to be able to step on the field. So there's going to be some guys like, I forgot he was on our roster. I'm glad to see he's making splashes, and hopefully we get to see that in spring and then through OTAs and through fall camp and then on Saturdays. And then also, right, the portal is that you have to look and see if it makes sense to add those type of guys. But we got to explore, right, offense, defense, and special teams and find the right type of people that will allow us to win games.
Coach Silverfield, give you some synergy. Coach Broyles had twin daughters. His tenet for winning was some of the things you've already mentioned, turnover margin. How do you impact turnover margin, and what specifically in practice takes place to make that happen?
Yeah, well, Coach Broyles is obviously a legend, and someone had told me that, and so I appreciate that good synergy. They had twin girls, so I always say this. Someone said when you had the girls, is it going to take away? Is it going to be a distraction? No, it's made me a better coach, And anyways, you can see my passion for my family and how much they mean to me. But with the turnover margin, it is truly, people talk about the keys to victory, and a lot of these coaches go into analytics and statistical stuff. That's great, and that's what you do, right? But you always got to have one more point than the opponent. So there's going to be some games. Maybe we win a game 3-0. Maybe it's 48-59. I don't know what the heck it's going to look like. But with turnover margin, you have to preach. You have to talk about it all the time. All right, we're going to use the terms OTB and TTB. All right, OTB is going to stand for own the ball. Okay, KJ and I were just talking about that this morning, and we kind of were joking around about something that's some of the stuff we did at Memphis. But when we talk about owning the football, it starts with everyday drills. Okay, so every coach in the country talks about take care of the ball, but you can notice, like, how does a team truly preach it with what ball security looks like? But you have to practice, you have to talk about it, and any time that it shows up, I don't care if it's a Tuesday practice on August 6th, if that ball security looks inadequate, you have to approach it, and you have to approach it right then. And the players have to understand there's a standard to ball security. The quarterback has to make great decisions. That starts with the snap. That also starts with the communication in the return game. We've seen year in, year after, especially this year in college football, there are more mistakes made in the return game by poor communication. That's part of the education of what the rules are, and what that should look like, and the ability to make that communication. And then we talk about taking the football away. All right, that's the TTB, take the ball. And you got to preach it, right? Every day in practice, taking the punches. We talk about the old peanut punch from Peanut Tillman, right? The guy that I saw get some punches on Adrian Peterson back in the day when I was with the Vikings. You got to talk about when the ball's in the air, going and attacking it. And so that's the stuff that has to show up. We do a takeaway circuit and a turnover circuit every day in practice. That stuff, but guess what? You have to implement in your program immediately. It can't just say, okay, before the game, guys, make sure we take care of the football and go get some takeaways. It's got to be embedded in our program. That's got to be part of our DNA. And that's how you win some of those games we talked about earlier, some of those close games. That's how you find a way to win those.
Coach, you talked about wanting to build something sustainable, but we are in the age of the transfer portal and guys getting poached left and right. How realistic is it to build any consistency, not just in roster, but in play for any program in today's college football?
That's a great question. Well, if you look over the last 10 years, I think the University of Memphis football program has probably been one of the most consistent programs in the entire country. And I take pride in that. And, that was part of the conversations with Hunters. Maybe this past year at Memphis, we didn't go undefeated, right? But if you look at the track record of what we've been able to build, the sustainability, 51 straight games of 20 points or more, that's pretty darn consistent, right? The longest streak in the country by far and away. That's called consistency. You took a quarterback that we started at 17 years old that started 4 straight years in college football. Right? Then all of a sudden we brought in a guy that had won, I think, 3 or 4 games in a 3-year period. He wins his first 6 games at the University of Memphis, right? You talk about what it is. It's talk about keeping guys that want to be a part of something, that want to continue to build it the right way. That's the sustainability. And be able to keep coaches that are so proud to live in Fayetteville, this great community, and be a part of this thing. And it's got to be by me understanding as a head coach, right? When we have a good season next year, well, the next year has to be even better. And it's my job to continue to challenge myself and improve every single year. How do we continue to make this thing better? I'm going to challenge the administration. I'm going to challenge every single person. We're going to continue to push the envelope in the right direction. And ultimately, we're going to be judged by wins and losses. but you can do it. And I think you can have sustained success year after year after year in college football. And I think those that don't are afraid to keep up with it, be able to fight every single day, but we come out swinging. I can promise you that.
Hi, Coach. Robin Hearn from 5 News back here. Sorry, we're all the way back here. Just want to talk to you a little bit about what were those conversations like with the guys that you were able to flip within like the first 24 hours, specifically the in-state guys?
Yeah, Robin, if I'm trying to slow down my talking, but I've got that Southern stuff, and so I start mumbling. So I probably talked for about 20 hours straight to these guys, just text message talking and just, talking all about it. But I think part of it, some of these guys I'd built relationships over time, over the years, just getting to know them, and then just selling them for the vision of what we're going to do and what we're all about. It started because they have a bunch of in-state pride. And that was one of the reasons that drew me to this job anyways. Like the guys that sit there and say, I want to be part of this program because this is home for me. And whether home's in Little Rock, this is still home for them. And so a lot of the guys are, man, I want to be a part of this. And then understanding what the passion is and what it's like and building something special, right? And like we talked about, it's not we're not going to be good 3 years from now. We're going to help be a part of this thing to get this thing flipped. And a lot of people have sensed that. And I think you got to see what it was like. And I look forward to actually, taking a deep breath, figure out what this thing is. But probably by February, we're going to start putting in the best recruiting class in program history for the 2027 class. And gosh darn, if I get a full 5 months to do so, that's going to be a heck of a deal.
Also, since coming from Memphis, have you been able to try any barbecue here?
No, I have not. Most of it's been eating peanuts and stuff I can find. There's not a whole lot of opportunity to explore. Someone said, how's Fayetteville? I said, it looks really beautiful at 12:30 at night and at 4 a.m. But other than that, I don't know. I had to open my window today just to see, wait, there is sunlight out here. But because a lot of it's been just a lot of meetings, phone calls, and conversations, which it's been a blessing because it's been so many great people. Last night getting on the golf cart to the basketball game, I was like, okay, good. I get to see a little bit more of campus and see some of this stuff. But no, I look forward, and if people ever know, and my wife will contest to this, unfortunately, my weight gain is going to increase pretty steadily over the next 4 months, and I hope it's with a ton of Arkansas barbecue. You got any suggestions?
Wright's is a big one here.
Perfect. I think I know what I'm having for dinner.
Yeah, it's more Texas style than Memphis style. Andrew just pointed out to me also that Houston Nutt had twin daughters, so maybe part of a requirement here.
It was. I don't know if the checkbox.
You've outlined a lot of things I think that are important qualities in a coach to be successful. But this might be a better question for Katie also. But a lot of coaches that are great have something that's kind of weird about them. Have some kind of idiosyncrasy or something. I was wondering what's weird about you.
How long do you have? I think the press conference. Listen, to be a head football coach in college football, you've got to be wired a little bit differently. You have to be. When I got into this thing as a coach, oh, you're going to pay me $5,000 a year? Absolutely, let me do it. You've got to be a little bit crazy to think I'll do whatever it takes to make this thing work. And the hours you put in, the sacrifice you put in, and you got to understand. I think what's happened, and she'll tell you, sometimes it's okay, Ryan. You don't have to be so truthful to everybody. And anybody that's got a wife, sometimes you can be too honest. And she sometimes says it's okay to. Yeah, ours blunt. She tells me I'm very blunt. I've got plenty of things. I'm sure over time you guys are going to see that's a little unique. Probably ask Bray Cook, who's spent a bunch of time with me over the years. There's plenty of unique things about me, but that's makes me who I am. What you see is what you get. I think the players all saw it. A couple of them were going over KJ's house and man, that dude is. Yeah, he's real, and I like that word because that means there's not a lot of fakeness, right? I'm genuine. I'm going to tell you what I think, and if I'm wearing socks from 20 years ago from Walmart, so be it, with my new suit. It's part of who I am, and I think it's going to resonate because people are going to see the real me every single day, and I think the players are going to love it. I think people are going to understand, man, cool, he's one of us.
I always felt like with the transfer portal and NIL and stuff, it's beneficial for Arkansas if things can be embraced from a financial side of things because the state in the area doesn't produce just a whole lot, produce some good players, but per capita, it doesn't. But I'm curious, and you could have a lot of turnover this year, obviously, with players hitting the transfer portal, and you experienced a lot of that last year at Memphis. But moving forward, what do you think is a good balance for Arkansas in terms of recruiting and adding players from the transfer portal each year?
Yeah, Trey, it's interesting. I think every year is going to have its differences. This would be probably the least amount of high school guys we ever signed. I didn't want to sign guys that I didn't actually have an understanding of who they were, right? Obviously, there was a handful of guys who were committed already, and we honor those. But then most of them, I at least had an opportunity to get to know. And anybody I'm going to bring in our locker room, right, I'm bringing a part of our family, right? They're going to come over to the house. They're going to be joining the vets. I think that's as important. So we're going to do a great job recruiting. If I were to throw out a random number, anywhere from 20 to 30 high school kids every single year, and be able to develop them. And then, what is it? Like if we only need to fill 10 spots in the portal, and some of those may be a third string guy that I got to bring in the portal, right? Everybody always assumes you bring a guy in the portal, is he a starter? Well, if a redshirt freshman goes in the portal and he's not ready to play, but maybe in a year from now he can fit your scheme, then so be it. But it's finding that right balance. But we are always going to rely heavy on high school recruiting, and our job as coaches is to develop those guys.
A lot of times when there's a new coach, there's some quarterback turnover. KJ obviously said he's coming back. I'm just curious, can you outline maybe like how big of a priority that was for you, and just what is it about him that made you come here and say, I want this guy to stay, instead of maybe going out and bringing your own guy in?
Well, I'd been able to watch, obviously, studied some Arkansas film prior to playing them, and I knew his background. And then really over the last course of a few days, just being able to, more than anything, right? Like I mentioned earlier, the film study speaks for itself, and he's got a unique skill set. He's very talented. Even as of this morning, we were actually watching film together, right? Going through some things and talking about it. Like, hey, I know why this throw went to this way, and I certainly don't specialize myself as a quarterback guru. The last time I was a quarterback coach was 2005. But just talking through things with protections and just getting his, the understanding of the way he processes, right? The care, and you hear other teammates talk about what a leader he is and how much it means. And so that stuff is huge. And the success of a team, ultimately, quarterbacks get too much credit, quarterbacks get too much blame. But I think KJ's got a bright future.
Coach, you were asked about your defense earlier. I'm curious about the offense. Kind of what do you envision X's and O's wise? Kind of what do you want on that side of the ball? Yeah,
listen, it's going to be similar to the same offense I've run the last 10 years. Like I said, again, credit to the players. We had wonderful players, but it's been really one of the most consistent, successful offense year in and year out. And part of that is turnover margin. Part of that is just having great players making plays. And that, to me, is huge, right? But when it's all said and done, we're not a tempo type team. Okay, we're not an air raid type team. Everybody's got a unique name for something, right? It's pro style. Do you have to huddle? Well, if we're not always going to be looking to the sideline for signals. 90% shotgun. Okay, we're going to not as much pistol as had been done here in the past, which was something I was even studying as of this morning, and just variations, right? But my job is to put the players in the best opportunity to succeed. So if it's out there being in more 11 personnel, if it's, if all of a sudden we got certain deals, and if we're short yards goal line, are we more of a 13 personnel? Is that 22? But it's my job and our job as coaches to develop the scheme based off of our players. I think you get so many coaches will say, well, he didn't fit my system. No, you're a bad coach. You need to change and adapt to what the players you have. So even as far as skill sets of a quarterback, what the receiver size is, speed on the field, what's your running back situation, your line situation, how much outside zone compared to inside zone. If you got a bunch of 355-pound linemen, then how much duo are you running? So, look, all that goes hand in hand. That's my job to figure that out. I'm excited to play the first game, but I think I got a little bit of time before I got to determine exactly what plays are going in.
And then going back to the high school recruiting, you announced 17 signees yesterday. You've got today and tomorrow in the early period and then the February period. Are you looking at adding any more high school guys, or does it shift to more portal?
Well, I think we got to see I think sometimes there's been some guys that hadn't signed yet. And if they fit with what we want to do, we're going to always do that. I think if we can add anybody that's going to add value to the locker room first and foremost, and then value to us on the field, we're going to explore it. And so to sit here as we continue to look at the roster numbers, but as always with everything, expect the unexpected.
Yeah, Hunter, you mentioned at the start that when you run a tight search, it can create a lot of speculation. That there's a notion out there that maybe this was a disorganized search. How would you characterize how it went?
from my perspective, it was very organized. It went from roughly 25 to 30 coaches down to 9, down to 3, down to 2, down to 1. I know because Kyle would come in and say, this name was floated out there yesterday, this name was floated out there. I will tell you that my staff didn't know who I had hired until Saturday night after the game when we got together. And that was the same way the entire search. And so I just feel like out of respect to the coaches, especially running a search during a season where coaches are coaching other teams, and I have the ultimate respect for what those young men in those other locker rooms are going through when their coaches interviewing for jobs. And the calendar we have right now in college football makes it incredibly, incredibly difficult to have the level of respect that I want to respect. And that's why I run a tight search. It's really out of respect for those coaches that I'm talking to because I don't want rumors to be floated out there. I'm not trying to get somebody else a raise. I'm not trying to hurt them and their program. I'm trying to acquire the best coach for the University of Arkansas. And so, again, no one knew on my athletic department staff until Saturday night after the Missouri game who we were hiring.
Speaking of Saturday night, I noticed on the term sheet you both signed it Saturday night. What was the timeline like Saturday when it was offered, agreed upon? How did that go?
Yeah, Ryan and I had been communicating last week. He had a game against Navy, and I wished him good luck. It didn't turn out the way he wanted it to. We communicated some on Friday. He wished me good luck heading into the Saturday game. We visited some during the game on Saturday. I stepped out of my box and at halftime and went and called him. And then we officially got everything wrapped up late Saturday night.
Thank you very much. Appreciate all y'all coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, they're wrapping it up. They are wrapped up. How about that? So, Ryan Silverfield, your next head coach at the University of Arkansas. We're going to react to that in the second hour. We also got, look at there. Well, you can't see it. You're on the radio. There's Richard Davenport. They're leaving the press conference right now, and hopefully RD will be able to join us here in a few minutes. Also coming up, we got Neil Atkinson. He's going to join us, and we're going to take some phone calls, hit the D3 Auto Sales text line. We're going to react. Got a lot to talk about. That was a lengthy press conference, almost, 50, looks like 55 minutes. They went with Yurchek taking some questions, a lot of questions about finances. Several of the keynotes, if you're just joining us, significant commitment from resources. Arkansas will be in the top half of the SEC, and that was one of the goals. It was reported that Arkansas was 13th or 14th in the SEC when it came to resources, so that's a significant jump. Silverfield said when Arkansas called, he was excited. He talked about his commitment, about turning this thing around. He said, give me 24 hours, 24 days, 24 years. And that's a significant commitment from him. If he lasts 24 years, that would be a great sign for the University of Arkansas, I would have to say. Also, the other big news, KJ Jackson and Quincy Rhodes have committed to come back for Arkansas next season. That is huge news for the offense and the defense to get arguably who could be their two best players next season, obviously with KJ being the quarterback, but Quincy Rhodes projected by some as a second-round pick to be coming back for another year at Arkansas. That's a huge commitment for the defense. Also loved what he said about the turnovers. The turnovers have got to be a part of your DNA. He had some acronyms for it. OTB, own the ball, and TTB, take the ball. And another big, we've already heard he wants to have the best recruiting class in the history of Arkansas in 2027. And they're not done recruiting in 2026 for Arkansas kids or just kids and all. He said he wants to set the standard of what SEC programs look like. That is bold. I like it. And I did not realize that Memphis had scored 20-plus points in 51 straight games. Longest streak by far, he said, in college football. A lot to react to. We'll do that coming up. Stick around. Seems like our first hour of Out of Bounds, but it'll be our second hour. Thanks for joining us. We'll react next.
Time, injured, and it was not your fault. Hurts in the pocketbook, too. Who do you turn to? Don't call a lawyer and find they're out of state or talk with someone at a call center. Call us at the Brad Hendricks Law Firm and talk to a real Arkansas lawyer directly. And remember, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. We'll work hard for you. Have for over 30 years. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Oaklawn is here for when you want real action, and the wait is over. Live racing is back. Every weekend brings big moments, big crowds, and your chance to feel the thrill of a big win. The holiday racing season begins Friday, December 12th, and runs through January 4th. Then, the excitement returns with the classic racing season, January 30th through May 2nd. It's racing, it's winning, it's everything you've been waiting for. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Problem. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Centennial Bank presents Dan Hampton each week on Morning Mayhem. Centennial Bank, strength FDIC.
Justin Moore from Morning Mayhem here. From our family to yours, we hope that you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Welcome to the Arkansas Blue Cross Razorback Report, covering Razorback athletics. Going overseas, enroll in international travel health insurance before you leave. Compare plans at arkbluecross.com/travel. We're talking Razorback athletics next with your host, Chuck Barrett.
How can the right care make our state stronger? By keeping our workforce healthy as it moves our communities forward, and empowering employees with the best healthcare plans and the best solutions to keep their companies growing. Arkansas Blue Cross and Blue Shield has been taking care of business in our state for more than 75 years with health insurance and peace of mind that's been trusted for generations, providing the health coverage you need to succeed. Take good care, Arkansas.
Razorback fans are loyal, and Domino's rewards loyalty. At Domino's, you can now earn Piece of the Pie rewards points towards free pizza any way you order, not just online, including orders placed by phone or in-store too. Sign up at Domino's.com/rewards. Only one order per day earns points.
You work hard for your business, so First Security works hard for you. We offer tools to improve cash flow, pay bills faster, and more. What's your better? Get there with us. First Security. Bank better. FSBank.com. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Good game last night at Bud Walton Arena. The Razorbacks held off Louisville, beat the Cardinals 89-80. This was Coach Cal when it was over.
I was really pleased. What you're doing when you're coaching, it's you're trying to piece a team together, but you're trying to get individual players to be their best. So, how'd you think Malik Ewan played today? Right? Both Malik and Darius. Darius had 10 assists today. Now, he still scored, and I put him in pick and rolls late because they struggled to guard him, and he's so talented. But I could have done that for Malik. I could have done it if DJ had it going, whoever it is, us learning to play the last 3 minutes. I didn't want it to be close, folks, but we need it to be close so we can figure out how to finish games.
Hogs head to North Little Rock now. They'll play Fresno State on Saturday, and we'll hear from the new football coach tomorrow on the Razorback Report.
We'll return tomorrow with more of the Arkansas Blue Cross Razorback Report. Get international health insurance before you need it. Find short and long-term options at arkbluecross.com. And take good care, Arkansas.
Tune in every Friday morning to hear Danny West from hogsports.com on Morning Mayhem. Brought to you by HJ Trailer Sales. They've got truck beds and utility trailers for every type of job and a service facility for maintenance and repair. Local folks with great products. Visit them online at hjtrailersales.com or in person at 808 Albert Pike in Hot Springs.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with KARK's Pat Walker.
A 70% chance of rain, sleet, and snow today, but we will be above freezing. 38 the high in Little Rock. The roads will be wet. They will not get slicked over. Now tonight, there's still a slight chance of a shower with an overnight low of 29. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Pat Walker.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
Tune in each week when Susan Irwin Prowl shares her Keys to the Weekend music events calendar with Justin and DJ. Brought to you by Willie D's and Big Red Dog Productions. Big Red Dog Productions is your gateway to music excellence in Central Arkansas and beyond. Visit entertainersguide.com to see the weekly calendar and submit your shows.
I'm Trey Reed from The Wild Side on 103.7 The Buzz. Join me and Mark Hedrick Tuesday nights at 7 for The Wild Side.
Brought to you by West Rock Landing at Lake Maumelle, Trader Bill's Outdoors, Battery Outfitters, All About Tire and Brake, Tammy Chase Insurance, Edwards Food Giant, and Crane Chevrolet.
Unstoppable, unmistakable. Defender is built for those who carve their own path. At Land Rover Little Rock, experience the legendary capability, rugged design, and modern technology that make Defender a true icon. Whether it's city streets or untamed terrain, Defender delivers strength with style. This is more than a drive, it's a mission. Visit Land Rover Little Rock off I-430 and test drive the Defender today. Learn more at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Arkansas Roundballers Big Joe Klein and Pat Bradley pontificate on Bet Saracen.
People ask me, what do basketball players know about football? What say you, Joe?
I explained that anyone can run up and down a grass field with a screwy-shaped ball, but it takes finesse to strategically launch a basketball from long distances at an 18-inch diameter steel hoop.
Dang, Joe, you sure are smart.
Gambling problem? Call 800-GAMBLER.
My name's Casey. I've been an agent for Arkansas Farm Bureau for 4 years. I absolutely believe in this plan. I have this plan myself because of the broad range of benefits it has for my customer base. And it just provides everything that you could possibly need. Wellness visits, prescription drug plans, to mental health services. It saved my family and I $150 a month. This plan is for people who want dependable coverage for a lower price.
Get a quote today at arfbhealthplans.com.
What drives you? Family moments, new adventures, or just the love of the open road? Whatever it is, Gwatney Chevrolet is here to help you get there. For generations, we've been more than a dealership. We've been part of life's milestones, big and small. With a team that puts you first and a car buying experience that's easy and stress-free, we're here to find the perfect vehicle for what drives you. Visit us in Jacksonville or online at GwatneyChevrolet.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Joe Franklin and Wes Moore on 103.7 The Buzz.
Razor Hog update, pretty simple today. Ryan Silverfield introduces the new head coach of the University of Arkansas. We're going to react to it. We'll open up the phone lines, let you discuss. Give me your thoughts on what he had to say. I love the part about the significant commitment from the University of Arkansas. Top half of the SEC, that's a huge improvement. You could also tell that Coach Silverfield's big into family. In fact, he said the things that matter to him, family and football. Also, the big news from the press conference, KJ Jackson and Quincy Rhodes are returning. They gave their commitment. Coach also was talking about how you close games out. You know, that was a big problem with Arkansas last year. He said you got to find a way to finish. The margin of error is so small. It is shrinking in college football. But you got to have more discipline, more leadership, and more guys buying in. You can tell locker room matters with this guy. It is the standard for him to create an atmosphere in that locker room. Those players are playing for each other, and he believes in his coaches. He talked about his assistant coaches. He wants coaches with experience. He wants great coaches that are leaders of men, and he feels like that is what develops that chemistry, the much-needed chemistry in a locker room. Also last night, Arkansas knocked off number 6 Louisville 89-80. Trevin Brazile, a big first half. He had 21 points, 17 coming in the first half. That's when he sprained his ankle. Didn't do a whole lot after that. Did have a big alley-oop dunk that helped Arkansas hold back Louisville in the second half. Darius Acuff was big in the second half. He had 17 total points and 10 assists, career high in assists. His first double-double as a Razorback. Malik Thomas had a big first half. He and Brazil kind of led the way in the first half. Second half, it was Acuff and Malik Ewan. Malik Ewan almost had a double-double. He had 12 points and 9 rebounds, 7 offensive rebounds, and Malik Ewan came up huge for them last night. There were several times when Louisville was cutting it down, and I thought one of the key moments in the game, Louisville had just hit a big three, and it was as the shot clock was winding down, and they hit the three. The lead goes down to 9. Then DJ Wagner missed a couple of free throws, uncharacteristic. Then Bully for Louisville hit a three, and it's a 6-point game. And Malik Ewan gets an offensive rebound, a putback. Arkansas gets a stop. On the next possession, he gets another offensive rebound, gets it to Malik Thomas, and he hits a jump shot, and it's back to 10-point game. There was another little run where Louisville got it to 7, and Malik Thomas goes with a little give and go. Billy Richmond gets an offensive rebound, hits a couple free throws when he was fouled. The lead goes back up to 9. And then here comes Louisville again, getting a little close. McNeely hits a big three, and Ewan ends up this kind of puts the icing on the cake with the offensive rebound and 2 free throws to make an 11-point game. And I thought, to me, even though Brazil was awesome in the first half, Acuff was great down the stretch. Malik Ewan, he was my star of the game. I thought without him last night, they don't win that game. Let's bring in Richard Davenport, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Hey, RD, I saw you at the press conference at the end when everybody was getting up. You were right there front and center. We got a good look at you. Your first thoughts, your initial thoughts after listening to the press conference.
Well, I think I'm not going to say he won everybody over, but I think the way he came across and some of his points about winning football games, fewer penalties, fewer turnovers, create turnovers. That's how they won the Arkansas game. Memphis did. They created a turnover late in the game. So there's a couple of things that kind of caught my attention, and then I've heard he's just a really, really good guy, and I think he comes across as just a very humble guy, but confident and has a plan. And talking to Travis Swanson and Bray Cook, they talk about how detailed he is and things like that. And anytime you're and when they say detail, I'm talking detailed on top of detail. And he holds people. Bray was telling me he holds kids accountable, even though he's a guy that can relate to kids very well. Kind of a player's coach a little bit, but also kind of a hard butt at the same time. So he says he does a great balance of that, and I think that's something that I guess that we'll probably see in the coming months. But then obviously having KJ and Quincy there and saying they're coming back. I mean, that right there.
Huge. That was huge to get that commitment from them, and you hope that leads to some other guys that they want to stay at Arkansas to follow the path and stick around and not jump into the portal. I also thought it was intriguing that he said he was looking at the Arkansas roster, and about a third of the guys he had contact with, because at Memphis he had recruited some of these Arkansas kids, and so he already had a somewhat of a relationship with about a third of the Arkansas guys on the roster.
Yeah, I remember Tucker Young, who obviously signed yesterday. When he got his Arkansas offer, Memphis had already offered him. So they'd signed some guys out of Arkansas, not a lot, but obviously they tried to recruit a lot of kids. So it doesn't surprise me, especially this current roster. We're talking about guys that if they've been in the program for 3 or 4 years, they're from the state of Arkansas. Good chance they probably had an interaction with the Memphis staff or Coach Silverfield. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty notable. And let's just be honest. I'm not saying that this was the case with KJ and Quincy, but I'm sure it didn't hurt that, the comment about having the resources to be able to retain young men on the current roster evidently have been increased. So I think, that right there in itself, that will help them retain guys going forward more so than they've been able to do in the past. And I think and only time will tell, but, will the large number of guys leaving, kind of dwindle a little bit because of that? You would think so, but, only the next month or so will tell.
Richard, there was a couple of things he said. It reminded me of Eric Musselman. And one of the things was, my teams will play hard. You're going to watch these teams, and you're going to go, they gave everything they got. And that was a kind of a Musselman message too. That no matter what happens in a game, you're going to walk away knowing that our guys scrapped, that they battled, they played really hard. And you go to his details, that's kind of a Musselman type thing. Even changing out the light bulbs. Change is happening right now. And if I want guys to walk in and go, wow, it's different in here. It's brighter in here. And if it's something as simple as changing out the light bulbs, I'll go get the light bulbs and change them out myself. But that's the kind of details that, he mentioned and talked about.
Yeah, he's definitely proactive about, instead of saying, hey, we're going to do this and have other people do it, which majority of the time that will be the case, he will jump in there if needed to do that. So there's no doubt that he brought some energy, I think he probably won some people over today. But obviously it's all the talking and all the PC press conferences and being able to maybe impress fan base is great. But next season is, if things go south, especially with what has happened to Arkansas the last 10 years or so, things could, kind of go the other way. But I think just the stuff that I've been told by former players and the people that I've had contact with that had interactions with him, I think he's a guy that does have that balance of being a player's coach, but also someone that instills a lot of discipline too.
Richard Davenport with us, Arkansas Democrat Gazette and WholeHogSports.com. All right, your specialty is recruiting, and we know about the flips, and he also had his bold prediction of the 2027 class is going to be the best one that Arkansas has ever had, and they're not finished with this 2026 class. What do you think of his recruiting skills?
Well, I'm optimistic. We'll see. I think that he has the ability to connect with people, and I think we talked about KJ and Quincy. I think that he was able to win them over. I mean, obviously money is involved in there, but at the same time, I think there has to also be a connection. The money can be very, very good, and it can be a helping a kid make a decision on whether or not he attends a school or not. But at the same time, there has to be a connection, a trust, and the confidence in the coach that you're going to follow and do battle with. You got to have that too, along with the money.
Richard, we'll let you go. I know you're busy. We're busy. We appreciate you jumping in here and talking with us a little bit.
All right, we'll see you guys.
All right, Richard Davenport with us, Arkansas Democrat Gazette and WholeHogSports.com. All right, we've got about 10 minutes before we take our next break. I want to let you have the chance to react. I'll hit the D3 Auto Sales text line. I know, we have a bunch of text over there. We'll take some phone calls. 661-1037. Chase is standing by. He wants to jump in. Well, Chase is gone. So the phone lines are totally open if you want to call in. 501. This is Brad in Little Rock. West, what does this contract look like? Buyout, etc. I have not seen the buyout, but we saw it was in the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, 5-year deal. I think it was 6.1 with was it $100,000 raise every year for the 5 years, and the buyout was significant for him if he leaves the first year and it goes down, and for Arkansas. But not a huge buyout for Arkansas and it starts to go down significantly. I think Hunter did change a little bit in that press conference, or change a little bit with that buyout in this contract, but I'll have to look at it again. Let's normalize a new coach's press conference being a few days after he's put in some work. Much more of an informative press conference. Yeah, it helps. I got to listen to the Goalish press conference, and there wasn't a whole lot he could say because there wasn't a whole lot he could talk about because it was just hours, literally less than 24 hours after he had been hired. So I did like the fact that they held this off a little bit, and it gave him a chance. But, I'd like to hear more about assistant
hold it
coaches.
off intentionally, though. It was
Juracek.
timing and circumstance with Hunter Juracek and his role as chair for college football playoff. That's the reason, but it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
The reasoning behind it worked out.
The only thing I would love to hear more was about his assistant coaches. And, of course, he's still working on that. But he was up front. He says, guys, as soon as I get them, I can't wait to talk to y'all again and talk about these new coaches. Let them talk to you. JT is in Benton. JT, welcome to Out of Bounds. What do you think?
Hey, well, I'm just pretty happy about what I heard. I tried to temper it with reason, and a couple times, he got, out of bounds over the top was, saying 2027 might be the greatest recruiting year in Arkansas. No, don't go there, dude. But, one thing that stuck out to me early on is when he talked about turnovers and fumbling, taking care of the football and getting the football.
Mm-hmm.
He had divided it in. He had some acronym for them, but, he talked about a culture of taking care of the football, not just it being an act that you practice. He talked about focusing on, the idea of, how important is the ball? What do we do at all times to either take it away or to protect it? And I thought that's a good overall, I like the way he said that. That was the main thing that stuck out to me.
And what I like, too, about it, JT, is all you have to do is go back and look at Memphis. They've always done well in the plus-minus category in turnovers and in penalties. It's the details, and that's what Richard was talking about, the details. He doesn't skip over the small little details. And for him to talk about how they practice, and the acronym was OTB, own the football, and TTB,
own the football,
take the football. And it's something they practice all the time.
Yeah, that was cool. And one other thing was that kind of, I don't know, that Juracek said that kind of, made me a little in trouble was he said when they asked him, about the financial condition, the first thing he mentioned about it was that we are now can say that we are in the top half of financial programs in the SEC. And I thought, the top half? Is that what we finally worked toward? Did you catch that when he said that?
But I thought it's huge. You go from 14th to top half is 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th.
Yeah.
That's a significant improvement.
Well, yes, it is. Maybe he could have worded it like, we're in the top part of fundraising, and not give something that could be interpreted as a percentage, which my mind being logical, I thought 50%. Oh, but yeah, it was, that is good ultimately. Yeah. It just, the way he worded it maybe was a little off-putting, I think, to me. But, okay, well, it was great that y'all carried it. I was listening this morning and I thought, well, is there going to be a way I can listen to it or watch it? And it was all up in the air, but I'm glad the networks had it, the locals.
Yeah,
and y'all.
It worked out. It did. Thank you, JT.
All right, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a hiccup to get it started. Streams were bad, but give it to the wizard, Christian Weaver. He helped us out, found it on YouTube. It was a great stream, and we were able to share it off of YouTube. Harley is in Morrilton. What's up, Harley? How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing today?
Good. I'm good.
Hey, I want to touch on the basketball game real quick.
Please.
It was a great win. I did have a scare in the first half, though, whenever Trevon Brazile went up his block or whatever it was, and he came down the road that ankle. I watched the replay 3 times, and I swear to God he was going to hit that backboard with his head.
Yeah, he can get up there on that alley-oop. His head was right there, even with the rim.
He ducked his head down to keep from hitting the backboard. But going to the press conference, I think he said all the right things. I think he's really had a desire for a while to come over here to coach. I'm glad he kept KJ and Quincy. That's a big turn right there. And the way, and, his just running around the court last night,
mm-hmm.
Hunter brought up that he spoke with one of the donors for 30 seconds, and after he left, he's told Hunter he's giving him a 7-figure, donation toward the team.
That's awesome, right?
Fantastic. Yeah, that's Calipari stuff right there.
Yeah, and I love the fact that was part of his background at Memphis. And for a while, he was in charge of fundraising for the football team. And so he already knows how to do it. He has that background, and he's not afraid to roll up his sleeves and get to work. And these days, that's a huge part of football. You got to be able to fundraise. And look, if your athletic director's not doing it, then the football coach has to go out there and get it done, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. I like all that about him. I can tell he's ready to play football right now, next season. But
he said it. He said he wished he could steal some bowl practices and start spring ball now.
Yeah. I do also want to touch on that. I've been thinking stuff while I'm driving, and it keeps blittering, blitzing out old age. But I like everything he's done. He said, I think he knows what he wants to get. It sounds like he's already got some coaches, assistant coaches lined up.
Yep.
It's just they got to finish their seasons wherever they may be at.
Yep, and work out the contract.
I think he's really going to put a good staff together, and I can understand why Hunter don't want to list the NIL budget and all right now, and I see where it's coming from. And honestly, I think it's good, but evidently we got a pretty good fund now from what we've had to go forward and get the players and make the athletics department what it needs to be. And it sounds like also we are not a self-supporting club anymore. It sounds like our universities start kicking in money to help out with the program as well as the athletic department, which is what it really needs to be. And that's all I got, guys. You have a great afternoon.
Thanks, Harley. We appreciate you. That was a good segment to get us started. We're going to take a break. We'll take some more phone calls. We'll hit the D3 Auto Sales text line. Mixed reaction over there. Some happy, some not. And that's what you figure. He's not going to win everybody over. Still going to have some skeptics. And that's fine. It's what you do on the field, the wins and losses that really matter. Stick around. More of Out of Bounds when we come back.
Are you still on the sidelines? Then it's time you suit up and get in the game. Download Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app, Bet Saracen, today.
Catch the buzz on all our social media platforms presented by Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway and Russellville. It's hot tub season at Luxury Pool and Spa. Online at LuxuryPoolArkansas.com.
If you're a bank needing GLBA compliance or a defense contractor looking for CMMC compliance, meet the team at Network Services Group with tailored solutions to help you navigate the complex regulatory landscape, allowing you to focus on what matters most, your clients and your growth. Don't gamble with compliance. Network Services Group, your partner in GLBA and CMMC compliance.
Services Group. One call does it all.
Accountable Roofing and Remodeling presents Bruce James every Tuesday morning this fall on Morning Mayhem. Bruce will break down each game, the opponent, and the Razorback program the only way he knows how, and that's with no punches pulled. Bruce James with David, Roger, and Justin on Morning Mayhem, presented by Accountable Roofing and Remodeling, home of the 10-year leak-free guarantee. Unstoppable, unmistakable. Defender is built for those who carve their own path. At Land Rover Little Rock, experience the legendary capability, rugged design, and modern technology that make Defender a true icon. Whether it's city streets or untamed terrain, Defender delivers strength with style. This is more than a drive, it's a mission. Visit Land Rover Little Rock off I-430 and test drive the Defender today. Learn more at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Hey, man, doesn't matter what your budget is. You got to get to Robert Irwin Jewelers because we're going to make Christmas bigger and brighter this year.
Hey, you know I'm rolling, right, Howie?
Oh, wait, let me change my voice up and sound a little bit more exciting then. This year, we've got all the greatest, most trendy fashion items in diamonds and in jewelry, and you got to get to Robert Irwin Jewelers because we've got great gift ideas for anybody's budget. We've got free financing, bigger, brighter diamonds, better prices, 5 locations, or online at rijewelers.com.
Say Robert Irwin Jewelers.
Robert Irwin Jewelers.
Celebrate your wins, but don't chase the losses. Remember, gambling is entertainment, not a paycheck. Set your limits and keep it fun. Visit arpgcouncil.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER for free confidential help. Play your way the smart way.
This is the Pigskin Preacher, bringing you the word. While the world is moving at breakneck speed for 11 months of the year, there's something different about December. The knowledge that 2,000 years ago that the baby Jesus was born in Bethlehem continues to impact the world in game-changing ways. The rise of education, hospitals, charities, etc., all were inspired by this babe. Even as our calendar pivots on his birth, 'tis the season is our opportunity to extend kindness, service, and sacrifice to those in need in his name. Double B's wishes each of you a Merry Christmas, and the knowledge that God so loved the world that he gave us his only begotten Son. From all your friends at Double B's, Merry Christmas.
Ray Tucker with good news for enthusiasts of Triumph motorcycles. Honda of North Little Rock now carries the legendary classics and cutting-edge rides. We have the Bonneville Bobber, Daytona 600, the TF450X, the Stunning Ever Special Edition, and the Rocket 3 Evel Knievel. You get the idea. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
The Book of Mormon is coming to Little Rock. It's the best musical of this century. The 9-time Tony Award winner is genius, brilliant, phenomenal. The Book of Mormon is the funniest musical of all time. It's the gold standard for comedy that goes further than any other comedy in history. You won't believe how funny it is. You won't believe how much heart it has. And when it's over, you won't believe how much you'll want to see it again. The Book of Mormon, December 5th and 6th at Robinson Center. Tickets at CelebrityAttractions.com.
Hey, everybody, it's Howie at Robert Irwin Jewelers. I want to take the stress out of buying a diamond engagement ring. All you got to do is you're going to come in, we're going to work with you, we're going to find out exactly what you need, and we're going to get the perfect diamond for you. Bigger, brighter diamonds, 5 locations, or online at rijewelers.com.
Orange is not your color, and stripes are for zebras. It's criminal not to hire Lion Legal. There's no one better to protect your pride than our pride of Legal Lions. When in war, you need the roar. For exceptional communication and exceptional results in all criminal-related legal matters, hire Lion Legal to come roaring to the rescue.
Hey, it's David Basil from my good friends at Bath Fitter. I've been working with Bath Fitter for over a decade now. They're a family-owned business that's been around for over 40 years. They are the pioneers of the acrylic bath industry. Bath Fitter offers a one-of-a-kind remodeling process that's easy and stress-free. They offer a wide selection of beautiful and functional showers, and with their seamless one-piece walls and hundreds of design options, you can refresh your shower space in no time. They can even convert your existing bath into a shower. Check them out online at bathfitterlittlerock.com and tell them Basil sent you.
Hey guys, it's Dee Dee from Ava Bella Day Spa. I know you're stuck on what to get her for Christmas. Hey, I got your back, and your legs, and your face, and your arms, and your shoulders, and your neck. How about a relaxation massage or a whole spa package? For $125, she can get a 30-minute facial, a 1-hour massage, and time in our Himalayan salt infrared sauna. Go to avabelladayspa.com. Merry Christmas from Ava Bella Day Spa.
Out of Bounds, live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio.
Back at it. It is Out of Bounds. Just to make it officially official, Quincy Rhodes has tweeted out his intentions to come back at the University of Arkansas. It was a pretty good message he had for the fans. He was happy with this year, but he's wanting to have a huge year next year. Let's bring in Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen. He joins us now. Hey, Neil, what's going on? First of all, let me say thank you to Bet Saracen for the little extra money I made on Arkansas's win last night, the little profit boost. Tip of the cap to Saracen.
Oh, yeah, and
Yeah, when I was looking at when the line came out, and I said Arkansas is getting points in Bud Walton Arena, and the line moved, and I think it went off Arkansas plus 4.5 is what it finally went off with, because we align ourselves with the nationwide consensus line, and I guess everybody was betting on Louisville, and I guess every other state did well on that game. Bet Saracen did not for obvious reasons, but it was good to see, and that game started after midnight where I'm currently located, so I didn't get to see all of it. I saw the tip-off, but then I kind of dozed off because we'd had a long day. But, yeah, it's that profit boost, and I guess if you look at the app right now and look at the promos that we got on the app right now, I guess we didn't learn our lesson last night. But yeah, we like the promo, and this is a big, important time of year with everything that's going on.
A quick question for those that used it last night. Can you use it again on Saturday, or is it just a one-time thing?
No, it's a one-time. You have to use it either or. We can't be that generous now, but we do. But, between the boost that we have for the SEC championship game, Thursday night football, no sweat bet, we got a profit boost on tonight's game, NBA. So there's it's not just one promo and then you use it and you're done. There's other promos with the other sports. So we're just trying to spread the wealth and cover the different leagues and the different games that are currently in progress right now.
I've already taken a look at the 50% Thursday night football no sweat bet, and with the Cowboys playing and being an underdog in Detroit, I'm afraid if the Cowboys win tonight, you're going to take another beating.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I'm looking at my projected score on this one. If the Cowboys win outright, the players are going to be pretty happy. I have a projected score of 27-29, Detroit over Dallas, but that's within the point spread right now. And now that it's gone to 3.5, and you got that extra hook, I mean, I got a feeling I know what the players are going to do. I'm not going to endorse what they bet, what they don't bet. Of course, we know anything can happen in the NFL on any given NFL game, but the way our fan base, our player base bets. If the Dallas wins, it's never a good day for Bet Saracen. I can tell you that.
You mentioned it,
and I know, like I say, nobody feels sorry for us. I know, but 2 days in a row, I may be licking my wounds when I wake up.
You mentioned it, but you got a 75% profit boost on this SEC game. That's a great way to add some money in your account.
Oh yeah, and what a weekend! I mean, there's a bunch of different playoff scenarios. I know it's going to depend on what the college football committee does, but there's a couple of scenarios where who's going to get in, who's going to be that 10th, 11th, and 12th spot, and there's some scenarios and be some spoilers. Duke is not a heavy dog to Virginia. They could conceivably win that game, and I got a feeling if Duke does win that game, the ACC could be left out of the college football playoffs because, there's some other – they're going to go with the top four conferences, highest ranked after the championship games get in. And I don't think any one of those two teams that are going to be there. So, let's see how it happens and see who from the group of five, get in. Also.
All right, last thing for you. What about the survivor pool? Where are we?
I had a feeling you were going to ask that, and as soon as I can hit the button right here, we are now at 31 entries left in the $20 pool. I kind of thought we would have knocked out a few more after the early Thanksgiving games, but and then we have 67 left in the dollar pool. So. Couple of weeks more left in the NFL before we get to the playoffs, and if we still have a couple of entries live in there, then again, they'll split it. But we're getting down to the nitty gritty. A lot of the teams have been used, and it gets really, really strategic at this time with the Survivor Series. And talking about the Survivor, one of the things that I was doing over here, I'm actually in London in the UK. It's already 8:37 over here. We were putting the finishing touches on the SEC Survivor Series, and once you register for that, you'll be able to make your first picks on January the 2nd for the games that kick off on January the 3rd. And boy, what a SEC opener Arkansas's got, Tennessee and Arkansas. So that's going to be a great one. So looking ahead a little bit, but and I was able to listen to a good part of the press conference, the coach's press conference. So that was exciting to listen to, and he was saying all the right things. So hopefully the fan base gets excited, and Lord, we need a better football year next year, and I hope we get it.
No doubt about it. Neil, thank you for calling us from London. We appreciate it. Have a safe flight back.
All right, yeah, I'll be coming back tomorrow and ready to get back. I never thought it would be colder in Arkansas than it would be in London in December, but it is. But maybe it'll warm up next week when I get back. So y'all take care, and we'll see you next week.
It's Neil Atkinson from Bet Saracen joining us on Out of Bounds. Let's take a look at the D3 Auto Sales text line real quick. Jeff says, Wes, please knock this cup out of my hand because I'm starting to drink the Kool-Aid mainly because of the money. Yeah, that was a significant part of the press conference. In fact, that was the top thing, that number one thing I wrote down. Top half of the SEC, and then you throw in Coach Silverfield already talking with some donors and getting some more contributions. That is huge for him and the football program. Brad asks, Wes, what are some of the benefits besides tickets and whatever that big donors get? Wins. That would be a big part of it. You get to support a program that's successful and enjoy the victories. Isn't it a lot more fun when your program is successful, like in basketball, nights like last night? That's part of it. Yeah. But yeah, their contribution level, and that enables them to better tickets. But I think for the most part, the big donors, they do it because they love the university, they love the programs, and they want to win. 501 says, well, okay, we hired a non-splash coach and seems to have gotten quite a good pending waterfall. How about now we make a big splash staff hires? And he teased us with us. He teased us on that. That's going to be what's next, I believe. Still, all the best coordinators and position coaches money can buy. Doesn't make sense to buy other teams' colonels and majors, sergeants, instead of only buying their soldiers. Give them a big spotlight. Still Orgeron, just out of spite. I think the staff is going to be very important. Well, it is on all teams, the OC, the DC, everybody. But, yeah, he seemed to indicate that we're going to see a nice splash. Eric in Benton says, Wes, everything he said sounded good. I hope he can back it up. I'm fired up. Don is in Hot Springs Village. What's up, Don? Nope. Joe's still talking to him, so we're going to take a break. We'll do that. Take some more phone calls when we come back and hit the D3 Auto Sales text line. It's Out of Bounds.
Ray Tucker with good news for enthusiasts of Triumph motorcycles. Honda of North Little Rock now carries the legendary classics and cutting-edge rides. We have the Bonneville Bobber, Daytona 600, the TF450X, the Stunning Ever Special Edition, and the Rocket 3 Evel Knievel. You get the idea. Come see us at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh. Not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See shelter agent Jay Helm, Jeremiah Matthews, or Jeff Hodge in Little Rock today.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. We're in the big eating season when temptations are going to come at you from family, friends, and TV ads. Not to worry. You've got an ally in Central Arkansas, the Little Rock Athletic Club or the Little Rock Racquet Club, both offering 50% off the joining fee from now till December 31st. Better to save big than get big. And oh, the variety of exercises you'll enjoy with your Little Rock Athletic Club or Racquet Club. In 2026, people will witness the fitness.
Well, Bass, game's almost over. I hope you got those bets in on the Oaklawn Sports app. You know, Roger, this Oaklawn Sports betting app might actually make watching games with you bearable.
That's big talk coming from a guy who's about to pick up the tab. But I hear you. With this app, we can bet on all the games this season with so many options.
And after they kick this field goal, it'll be you picking up the tab.
Nah, he's going to miss.
It's good!
That's bad. Bet all season long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, Dan, that spaceship-wide lunch meeting at noon, please say it's not more astronaut ice cream and powdered orange drink.
Negatory. Ground Control hooked us up with EasyCater, so now we can order from a galaxy of restaurants with tools to stay on budget and meet our dietary needs.
Thank heavens. My dairy tolerance and anti-gravity is not great.
And with EasyCater, it's all on one simple platform, so we can focus on space stuff, like that asteroid. So how about tacos? Hold the cheese.
EasyCater, a stellar way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
The electric cooperatives got its start lighting Arkansas, and we continue to meet that demand with every resource we can deliver. We're powering your life where you live every single day through one of 17 local cooperatives, each unique, always united, and in your community. Our mission? To provide reliable, affordable, and responsible power to every corner of Arkansas. It's the local hometown cooperative way, because we're better connected together. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas.
Christmas isn't about what's under the tree. It's about making every moment special. Building memories that outlast the wrapping paper. Making the most of every acre. Teaching the next generation right. That's why Greenway is rolling out weekly offers on the gear that keeps you running and the John Deere gift that makes their eyes light up. This year, give a gift built for all things special to you.
Hi, it's Frank Fletcher from the Fletcher Dodge store here in Sherwood. Folks, if you're shopping for a new car or truck, I hope you'll come see us and give us a chance to earn your business. We have huge discounts, 0% financing available, and we'll give you $1,000 over Kelly Blue Book value for your trade-in. Folks, I guarantee you a hassle-free buying experience. And if you've had credit problems in the past, listen to this. We have an easy pre-approval process. Just go to FletcherCredit.com to get started. You can be pre-approved in minutes. It's really not hard. FletcherCredit.com. Folks, we're also still buying cars every day. If you got an old car or truck you want to turn into cash, bring it to Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood and ask for Chris or Andy. Shop Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood before you buy anywhere else. Shop in person or shop online at FletcherDeals.com. Thank you.
Hey everybody, this is Quinn Grovey. I know what it takes to lead a team. Conway Wealth Management aims to help you win, whether you're planning for retirement, investing smart, or building your future. They're trusted, local, and focused on your goals. That's Conway Wealth Management. Take control of your financial future and call 501-358-3994. That's 501-358-3994 or visit ConwayWealthManagement.com today.
Securities offered through LPL Financial.
Oaklawn is here for when you want real action, and the wait is over. Live racing is back. Every weekend brings big moments, big crowds, and your chance to feel the thrill of a big win. The holiday racing season begins Friday, December 12th, and runs through January 4th. Then the excitement returns with the classic racing season, January 30th through May 2nd. It's racing, it's winning, it's everything you've been waiting for. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
2026 is about to become the year that you discovered you like the way you look. What makes me say that is this. The Little Rock Athletic Club or the Little Rock Racket Club will let you join for 50% off the joining fee. This offer is good through December 31st. With all the variety they offer, workouts become fun. Your Little Rock Athletic Club or Racket Club invites you to join now. And in 26, people will witness the fitness, and one of those people will be you.
The holidays are here,
And so's the newest Academy Sports and Outdoors, right in your neighborhood. Score Kids ride-ons that say, my 8-year-old's truck is nicer than mine. Grills and smokers that say, there is no wrong way to cook a turkey. And new Nike fleece hoodies that say, I keep it chill no matter the temp. Academy has all the legendary Christmas gifts your family wants at undefeatable prices, because here, fun can't lose. Win Christmas at your new Academy Sports and Outdoors.
For the next couple of months, I've decided to start signing my name Craig Genesis O'Neill. Why? Because Genesis of Conway has their big signature event going on now. You visit and pick out your Genesis, GV70, GV80, or G70, and the greatest car you've ever been in will be yours for 1.99% interest for 60 months. Then it's your signature that proves what they say. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz, live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio. Gwatney Chevrolet, driving, trust every mile.
When he announces some of the people on his staff, that would be the first piece. And then when you see how our roster comes together after the transfer portal officially opens in January, you see we've got a couple of young men in here that are coming back. That's a part of the financial commitment that we've made into our football program to be able to retain those high caliber, very talented young men that we want to be a part of our program and the leaders of our program. And so I think when you look at what the staff looks like, the support staff as well, and then the players that become a part of this program, that will show you the financial commitment we've made to our football program.
A significant commitment is what Hunter Yurchek called it, putting Arkansas on the top half of the SEC. Let's take some phone calls, get some reaction. Don is in Hot Springs Village. Don, welcome into Out of Bounds.
Hey, guys, exciting weekend coming up with high school football championships going on and playoffs still, but I'm drinking the juice, but I have a concern because I know for a fact that other programs at the university are taking a budget cut. He kind of mentioned that in his talk, our AD, and that, we're going to take money here, there, and yonder to make football the best. And I know for a fact that they've already said football, baseball, and, of course, basketball is being taken care of. Tyson, those three sports are going to be taken care of, but track and those places are going to get cut to the bone. And so I'm just saying 42, 50 national championships may be the last because there's not going to be any money funded into track and field and some of our women's sports. I heard that gymnastics and softball were the two they were going to pump money into, and the rest of the women's sports, never mind. So I have a concern there of not taking care of everybody. I'd just like to hear what you think.
Okay, thanks a lot, Don. That was one of the criticisms that many people had was, it's great to be good in these other sports, but why do you struggle in the sport that matters the most in the South and in the SEC, your biggest money-making sport, football, and you continue to lag behind in that sport, and it ends up costing you. So why not pump some money into football, and then all of a sudden maybe you start making some money from football, significant money that you can then put back into gymnastics and track and softball. It just kind of makes sense to me. If you can take, for example, the last game against Missouri, and I've used it before, the Notre Dame game, how much money the program lost at halftime of the Notre Dame game because everybody went out to their tailgate party. And all of a sudden, they're not buying all those Cokes and beers and food at the concession stands. They're not going to go buy some T-shirts or whatever from Caps. You're losing money, significant money. And how much money did they lose against Missouri? We all saw the stadium, half empty. You're losing out on an opportunity to make money by having the stands full for your biggest money-making sport. So why not be successful in football, make some money there, and then pump it into some of the other sports? John is in Little Rock. And I think people are tired of losing in football. John, welcome in.
Thank you. This is sort of a follow-up, I guess, the accountability with Hunter Yurchek, because this whole process is going to cost somewhere between $40 and $50 million when it's all said and done. And basically, because you didn't handle things financially correctly with football the last few years, you set Sam Pittman up to fail. And that falls at the feet of Hunter Yurachek. And I don't hear any accountability at all with respect to Hunter Yurachek. And that really, it more than bothers me with that. And, you know, everybody just kind of handles this whole thing right now with kid gloves and, you know, doesn't really ask any of the tough questions to Hunter Yurachek and just softballs this whole deal. And, you know, I guess I'm just really frustrated with Hunter Yurachek the last few years because if he'd have handled this better, we wouldn't be in this mess in the first place.
John, I will say Silverfield won the press conference, but Hunter Yurachek didn't do anything to help himself. And there will be a time where Hunter Yurachek has to deal with the repercussions. And just because people are excited about Silverfield or feeling better, I should say, about Silverfield, that doesn't mean Hunter Yurachek's getting a pass.
But he has. He's gotten a pass throughout this whole deal.
No, not at all.
The whole process.
Not at all.
I mean, I don't really hear, you know, the accountability that needs to be coming from him.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'd say hold tight for about 3 months and see what happens in the next 3 months.
I hope so because, I mean, this has been botched for a long time, and it's kind of hard to have faith in Hunter Yurachek, and you're finding money now when you really didn't make an effort to find the money before.
And I think that was the biggest concern after he made his comments at the Little Rock Touchdown Club. It may have been the truth, but what are you doing to fix it? Let's hear the plan. Don't tell us how bad it is.
Exactly.
Tell us exactly what you're going to do to dig out of that hole. John, hang in there.
Exactly. I mean,
I would tell you, just hang in there, okay?
Well, thank you.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
Let's go to Steve. He's in Hot Springs. What's up, Steve?
Hey, yeah, I was just listening to some of these calls, and everybody just needs to chill out. It's going to be fine. Look, Arkansas's problems started long before Hunter Yurachek. I would say back with A.D. Long is when all the problems started. You know, Hunter Yurachek ain't helping himself. I'll give everybody that. But, I mean, you know, let's give this guy a chance. I mean, I was a little skeptical. I was like, okay, well, let's see how it goes. You know, and then I saw what he did with recruiting yesterday, and I was very impressed with that the last couple of days. And then his press conference today, I mean, yeah, I'm still in a wait and see kind of mode, but I've looked him over. He's not a bad coach. I don't know. Everybody needs to stop panicking and stop worrying about it's not gloom and doom here, folks. I mean, we've been there. It was called Chad Morris.
That was a big hole to dig out of, Steve, and they're still trying to dig out of it.
It was.
Yeah. I will say,
we're still digging out of it.
You know, this season didn't go as well as planned, but the team wasn't as bad as the record indicated, and they're in a better position today than they were in 2019 when Chad Morris left.
100%.
Steve, thank you for the call. Have a good night.
Sir.
We'll take some more phone calls coming up. We're right up against the end of the break. 870 says on the D3 Auto Sales text line, at best, we'll go 4-8 next year. 501 says, I'm tired of the same old questions. They should have asked Silverfield about his scouting report and game plan against Arkansas last year. Not the normal stuff, but what it really was. That would have been interesting. That's not a bad question. Dakota says, I took the double R prop bet last night. Malik Thomas over 17.5 points and over 4.5 rebounds. He had 17 points and 5 rebounds. Ouch, Dakota. You know he missed his first free throw? He missed his first free throw, and I remember thinking, God, you've got to make your free throws. You're too good of a shooter. He made his next 8. Finished 8 of 9. If he'd have gone 9 for 9, you would have hit that bet, Dakota. Like a true politician, Hunter used the word significant because he doesn't have to attach a true value to it. He did add that it puts him in the top half of the SEC. He didn't give us an exact number, but top half would be number 7, 6, 7. I guess 8 would be right in the middle. When you're 14th, That's a significant difference, jumping over 7, 8 teams as far as your financial commitment. 870 says, so do I go over or under tonight in the Cowboys game? It's 54.5. All right, the Saracen computer was 29-27. That's 56 points. So that's over. Me, my gut, I would go under. I think the Cowboys defense is playing better. The Detroit Lions have been struggling a little bit offensively. They've got some injuries. I think it's a lower scoring game. Both teams in the 20s, but I think 56.5 is a little high. Or 54.5. I think it's a little high. That's just my gut. I got the Cowboys winning 27-24, 27-21, something like that. So that's 40s. All right, coming up in our third hour, we got what's trending, Brian Edwards with some picks, and more calls.
If you are looking for a safe and loving home for you or your loved one, visit Heartland Rehabilitation and Care Center. Just 15 minutes from Little Rock and Benton, our skilled nursing staff is dedicated to providing quality long-term care and short-term therapy. Visit heartlandrehabcenter.com. You can call Heartland home.
Hey, man, doesn't matter what your budget is. You got to get to Robert Irwin Jewelers because we're going to make Christmas bigger and brighter this year.
Hey, you know I'm rolling, right, Howie?
Oh, wait, let me change my voice up and sound a little bit more exciting then. This year, we've got all the greatest, most trendy fashion items in diamonds and in jewelry, and you got to get to Robert Irwin Jewelers because we've got great gift ideas for anybody's budget. We've got free financing, bigger, brighter diamonds, better prices, 5 locations, or online at rijewelers.com.
Say Robert Irwin Jewelers.
Robert Irwin Jewelers.
What drives you? Family moments, new adventures, or just the love of the open road? Whatever it is, Gwatney Chevrolet is here to help you get there. For generations, we've been more than a dealership. We've been part of life's milestones to find the perfect vehicle for what drives you. Visit us in Jacksonville or online at GwatneyChevrolet.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Buzz News with KARK's Gary Burton Jr.
Central Arkansas is seeing an increase in runaway teens. The Children's Protection Center in Little Rock took in 3 runaways in just last week. They say most kids run away to escape abuse, neglect, or family conflict, but those who aren't found quickly face even greater risk, like homelessness or trafficking. That's why they say every child they help is assigned a family advocate and a therapist. A Crawford County woman is accused of having her mentally disabled daughter kidnapped. The 59-year-old mother is charged with conspiracy to commit kidnapping and endangering the welfare of a minor. Investigators say she convinced 2 people to kidnap her daughter and tie her to a tree. Deputies say it was all a plot to keep her from talking to strangers online. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm KARK's Gary Burton Jr. Have a great Thursday, everyone.
Beechwood Hospitality presents coverage of the Dallas Cowboys on 103.7 The Buzz. Beechwood Hospitality, the leader in hotel property management.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with KARK's Pat Walker.
Rain is likely today. Sleet and snow are possible here in central Arkansas, but here's the good news. It'll be above freezing all day long, so nothing will be sticking to the roads, but the roads will be wet. It's a 70% chance of precipitation, and it will have a high temperature today of 38 degrees. With the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Pat Walker.
Are you hungry? Something new, $25, all you can eat, sushi rolls, soup, salad, Benihana rice. Come at Benihana's Monday through Thursday.
Listen up as Monte Harrison joins Drive Time Sports each week, courtesy of Absolute Roofing and Construction for your business or home, covering the state one roof at a time. Call Tiger Lee for your free estimate, 501-380-5543. That's 501-380-5543.
Mike Rowe here with a name everyone should know, Groundworks. The foundation and crawl space repair experts are coming soon to Little Rock. So if you've got a musty crawl space or cracks in your walls, these are the guys to call. And right now, Groundworks is hiring for all positions. If you're looking for a career, Groundworks is the place to do it. You can go from installer to foreman in under a year and become an owner of the company you work for. Apply now at groundworks.com/careers.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/125 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
I'm Christy, and I'm from Stuttgart, Arkansas. Ever since I was a little girl, I've been in a Farm Bureau family. My agent told me about this great new health plan. I saw that I would be saving hundreds of dollars a month, and it's been great coverage. My copays have been lower. Even the procedures that I've had have been cheaper as well. It has proven to be very good for us.
Get a quote today at arfbhealthplans.com.
Hey, it's David Basil for Luxury Pool and Spa. Can you feel it in the air? Oh, I can. It's hot tub season, and I love my hot tub from Luxury Pool and Spa. You can too. They have Fantasy and Caldera hot tubs in stock and ready for delivery. Luxury Pool and Spa also carries Sharona Spa chemicals and frog systems. I use both in my hot tub. You gotta have them. Luxury Pool and Spa also has Pollywood Adirondack outdoor furniture for sitting around your fire pit with family and friends. Live the life of luxury with Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway and Russellville. LuxuryPoolArkansas.com.
Each day at the Arkansas School for Mathematics, Sciences, and the Arts begins with curiosity and ends with discovery. In labs, studios, and beyond, learning takes shape in bold ways. As a tuition-free residential high school, ASMSA brings together students from across Arkansas to live, learn, and grow in an early college community. ASMSA, where talent thrives. Begin your journey at asmsa.org/thrive.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio, this is Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz. What's Trending in Sports is brought to you by Arkansas's own West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock Coffee, the Razorbacks, and their 1.5 million farmers around the globe. It's fall, so now it's time for your team to stock up on coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA today.
No doubt what's trending around here is Ryan Silverfield introduces a new head coach at the University of Arkansas. Hunter Yurachek introduced him. We had a question about his buyout a little earlier. Joe's been back there clipping up some sound. Here's what Hunter Yurachek said on that buyout.
Not many agents will advise their coaches to accept that buyout the way we had it set up. It was much more favorable to the institution. I think this is kind of a middle ground, that it's favorable to the coach and favorable to the institution.
There you go. No numbers exactly there, but that's what Yurachek had to say about it. Let's hear from Ryan Silverfield. One of the problems this year, one of the many problems, of course, turnovers were a huge problem. The fourth quarter, finding a way to win the game.
Part of that is, right, just finding ways. And, listen, at Memphis this past year, we found ways to finish some games and we found some ways not to. And that's the nature of college football. The margin for error continues to shrink, right? And just, brief synopsis of what I saw from Arkansas is, we have to find ways to be more disciplined, right? Whether that's penalties, all those things. I think just the leadership, right? And a lot of the players have come to my office and say, Coach, I think we want to step the leadership. Okay, well, good. That has to start right now. Right? We can't wait till we get back on January 14th. That has to start right now. And guys buying into the way we're going to do things. I think the way you condition in the offseason, the way you condition during the season, what does that look like? A great understanding of situational football. Now, ultimately, we look at, I don't get much into statistics, but you want to talk about ball security and turnover margin. I think that's been an issue. In Memphis, over the last 10 years, we're one of the best teams in the country at turnover margin, significantly more so the last 5 years. And that's important. That's how you win those games. And then finally getting guys to believe, guys that are going to be resilient, guys that are going to finish and fight every single play. And if you do that, you give yourself a chance.
We're also getting questions about his staff, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. Who's he bringing in?
I always have valued experience, and I think that's important. But most importantly, great coaches and great leaders, men. And you can say, well, that sounds like coach speak. That's not. Because I believe that how you do anything is how you do everything. And we're going to find coaches that are going to truly pour into these guys. And they may think it's corny, but I'm going to tell them, these coaches are going to love them. They're going to hold them accountable, okay, to everything these guys say they want to do. And they're going to make sure they achieve exactly what we say we're putting out there. And we talk about standards and all those things, but coaches are going to set the standard and push the players to meet that standard. And look, there's coaches that are coming aboard that have SEC experience. All right, they'll be here before you know it, and we'll be able to talk about it and write about them probably the next time we all get together. There's some coaches that have some NFL experience. There's some coaches of various backgrounds, coaches I've worked for before, coaches that are going to make sure the lights stay on in this building, whatever the hell it takes. So all sorts. But, I can't wait for you guys to meet those people that are going to be with us, and it's going to be a very, very exciting time.
He also was asked about hiring coaches from the state of Arkansas that know the Razorback program, and he said people who understand the state are important. He also said he's also going to hire people who make sense. More from Coach Silverfield in a bit. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL. We got the Cowboys and Lions tonight. Schottenheimer, Cowboys know their back's up against the wall. Probably need to win out to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm a game-by-game guy. Always have been, always will be. I just think it serves you the best, to do it that way because it's such a long season. It'd be different if you were playing 6 or 8 games, only. But when you're talking 17 games before the playoffs start, I think you have to, take each day and each week by themselves. And the other thing that I believe in is I believe you really focus more on yourself. We talk more about ourselves than we talk about the opponent. I think, our best ability to perform well and win games is based on what we do and how we perform and how we execute, not what the opponent does. And we play really good opponents every week, but I just think it's an important part of the process. And then ultimately when we get to a Super Bowl, it's going to be no different. It's going to be Monday's a Monday and Tuesday's a Tuesdays. You got the 2 weeks and all that stuff. But, I think that's important that you build into these guys that, hey, we're going to take it one day at a time, 1 week at a time. And why? Because your focus needs to be where your feet are.
Cowboys may be taking on Detroit without Amon St. Brown. Is there a ruling on him yet, Joe? Have we heard officially if he's in or if he is out for tonight? I have not. It may be a game-time decision. And if he's not able to play, Jameson Williams will be a big factor.
He's really growing. I mean, he just continues to grow and get better. He's fearless. And he's just his fundamentals, for the speed and quickness he has, the ability for him to drop his weight now, and there's really some detail to his route. He's becoming a hard cover. And then you see the run after catch ability. He's had it. So his confidence is growing. Our confidence is growing. And he's doing well, And, I mean, he came back out this week again. I mean, he's full tilt. You should have seen him running yesterday. I mean, this guy, he works now. He works in practice every day. So love where he's at.
He is scary in the open field. I hope he doesn't have that opportunity tonight. Joe Burrow is back, and he's talking about his custom shoe.
Carbon fiber plate and custom orthotic.
How does that help your toe?
Well, the shoe can't bend because my toe can't go backwards right now. It's still a little early for that, so just keeps it firm and not bending it back.
Is it comfortable?
No.
Are you wearing different cleats now than you were before?
Before the injury? Yeah. These are the ones that I feel like give me enough space and stability to do what I need to do.
Do you walk around in different shoes, just like at home?
At home I'm just barefoot, but I try to be in the cleats as little as possible.
How did you settle on the sneakers being like the swapping out and kind of, how did you figure out that was a good solution for you on the sideline?
Well, I take it off throughout practice every now and then just to let it breathe and let it relax a little bit. And these are what I put on, so figured I'd just keep it the same.
The weather, obviously it was cold in Baltimore, but it's supposed to be like really cold in Buffalo. Does that impact the shoe and what's in it and your toe at all, or not really?
No, it shouldn't.
How difficult was it to get used to the insert?
It was certainly a process to figure out what worked best for me and what was most comfortable and at the same time safe. But we worked through that, and a lot of different people were involved, and we got the right stuff in there.
You wearing it? Do you have any idea?
For sure the rest of this year, and probably going forward, but we'll see.
Tip of the cap to him for playing, going through all that to just get back out on the field, and it's a long shot for them to make the playoffs, but he's out there trying to give his team the best chance that they can.
They got a big win on Thanksgiving, which set them, on a certain pace. Now, they would probably have to win out, but they took the first step there, and as he mentioned, it's uncomfortable, but you could see every time he goes to the sideline, he's quickly switching out the cleats for other shoes that are more comfortable.
Mm-hmm. And that affects a player. I mean, I saw it last night with Trevin Brazile. After he rolled his ankle, went to the locker room, got taped up, and just that tape job, it just limits that flexibility in your ankle, and just wasn't the same after rolling his ankle last night.
That's what you want. You don't want to give too much movement there.
Yeah. Make it secure. All right, in Pittsburgh, speculation about Mike Tomlin's job, and then Big Ben Roethlisberger probably didn't help any when yesterday he was on the podcast.
The podcast, Footballing with Ben Roethlisberger.
Talking about the possibility of him going to Penn State. That probably opened some eyes. Here's Mike Tomlin talking about Penn State.
Mike, at any point in your coaching career, did you ever have an interest or express an interest in being a head coach in the college game? And do you have any idea how that may or may not have led to folks like Ryan and Doug Whaley and Carson Palmer connecting you to some college jobs?
Hey, guys, I don't have time for that speculation. I mean, that's a joke to me. I got one of the best jobs in all of professional sport. Why would I have any interest in coaching college football? That'll be the last time that I address it. And not only today, but moving forward. Never say never, but never. Okay? Anybody else got any questions about any college jobs? There's not a booster with a big enough blank check. Anybody asking Sean Payton about that? Anybody asking Andy Reid about stuff like that?
That is the way you handle it.
And you can copy paste, take the clip where he was asked about USC, and it's pretty much the same thing he said at that time. And they were making those connections because Lynn Swann was athletic director at that time. But he said the exact same thing.
That's awesome.
Said, as far as these college jobs, never. He said, never say never, but never.
Never. I love it. Yesterday we played a clip, 2 clips actually, on Brandon Ayuk, and now Steve Young is chiming in on the 49ers wide receiver.
Steve, what's your breakdown on this situation? Realistically, do you think Brandon Ayuk has played his last snap in a 49ers uniform?
It feels like it's up to Brandon. It feels like he's decided that it's broken and has moved on. But I think football it's an emotional game, and relationships mend, and people change their ways, and like they see new potential where they saw no potential before. So I think that's what Sean's talking about. I might be wrong that it's Brandon's choice, but I got to believe that with his talent and what he gave, particularly to Brock, because Brock's such a fast processor, getting open in threatening positions. Now, Christian does it from all different places, and George, but it's not as quickly, knifing into the defense as Brandon can do from his spot. And so Brandon was that guy that was open quickly, deep on the fringes and outside where things could really cause defenses grief. And it's a huge loss. And it's terrible that this has happened the way it has. And if he's healthy and ready to go, I invite Brandon Ayuk back on. Like, bro, come on, man. Like, fix whatever's wrong, bury whatever it is, and let's go do this.
Yeah, be a great addition for a team that's trying to win the NFC West. That'd be huge. Anything else on what's trending?
No. That's all for sound, but let's see if there's any more just news out there in general, anything that's breaking. But I
haven't seen anything. My timeline, though, is full of Silverfield comments and reaction from different people across the state and across the country. And, of course, the big news from Quincy Rhodes and KJ Jackson committing to the program for next year. That's huge. That's so big for Arkansas.
And so another note about Penn State, Kalen DeBoer was asked about his interest there. He denies having any interest. So Penn State is going to have to work their way down a list of potential head coaches there. It seems like maybe there's some interest with Matt Campbell, who was mentioned for Arkansas at one time. Maybe that is a connection that they can make.
And there's talk of just keeping the interim.
Yeah, that's where they've gotten to.
All right, let's take some calls. Lee is in Benton. He starts us off. What's up, Lee?
Man, doing great. Trying to stay warm on this cold day.
Miserable day.
Hey, a couple points. Man, it is miserable. But, hey, we got a new coach. I wasn't a fan. I was hoping that we would get an elite name, elite coach that would come in and kind of like Coach Cal did for basketball, just give us a fresh hope that, we've got the guts to bring in some big money guys that really coach that. But after listening to Coach Silverfield today, I'm starting to buy in a little bit. But that's what a good coach will do is, sell you on his program, on his culture and that whole thing. And, my big thing is that, I'm looking at coaches like the Indiana coach, what he's doing at the University of Indiana. He's playing money ball up there. He don't have the biggest NIL budget. He don't have all this kind of stuff, but he's getting 2 3-star players and turning them into 5-star players, and he's making them believe. He's making them believe in his system and his culture of being clutch. You can tell when these guys give a post-game talk after the game, these guys have bought into this guy. That's what we need Silverfield to do for us, is to really make us believe that he's going to, bring us to the top. He's being pretty bold in his statement.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that don't come back to bite him, but I like the confidence because you got to have that. But, man, can he really bring it? And my other point is that, of course, being a diehard Razorback fan, all Arkansas sports, man, we can't close. We can't close in baseball. We're just now learning how to close in basketball again because we have Coach Cal. But what is the emotional intelligence of these guys, and what are they teaching? EQ. Most people don't never heard EQ, emotional intelligence. But at top sports levels, they teach these guys how to stay level and how to be clutch.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just leave it at that.
Lee, thanks for the call. And that was one thing that jumped out, too. He's talking about situational IQ, knowing what needs to be done at that moment in the game. And that's something that can be coached. So if it's 3rd and 5, you don't run 4 yards. You run 6. That way, if you have to come back to the ball, you still get the first down. Or knowing where the sticks are when you're running to get that first down, even if it's on second down, because you never know what's going to happen on third down. Get the first down late in the game. I like that. Jeffrey joined us. What's up, Jeffrey?
Hey, how are y'all?
Good.
Hey, are y'all keeping up with the Darius Slay ordeal right now?
Yeah, I saw it this morning, and I know Joe knows a lot more about it. Darius Slay was cut by the Steelers, was going to sign with the Bills, and informed the Bills this morning he may be just retiring.
So my question, kind of question was what y'all thoughts were on what he's doing right now, and I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks, Jeffrey. Joe, you have any thoughts on Darius Slay and the possibility of retiring and not going to Buffalo?
Well, he came into the season saying that this was going to be his final season, and so he wanted to try to win a championship somewhere. And the fact that he just wasn't fitting in well there with Steelers, he would be a better fit there with Bills and their defense and how they operate. But it is his decision as to if he's going to go there and actually play, or he could decide to just step away.
Yeah, there's that moment with every athlete that you realize kind of slaps you in the face. You just can't do what you used to do, and it's hard to accept. And you don't want to struggle and tarnish what people thought of you at the end of your career.
That defense, though, I think it's definitely a better fit for him, and he could have some success there. He's not going to be asked to be the 1 or the 2 corner.
Mm-hmm.
Just jump in there and make some plays every now and then, and he's still capable of doing that. But it just wasn't a good fit there in that Steelers defense.
We'll take a break. When we come back, we can take some more phone calls. I'll hit the D3 Auto Sales text line also. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
All right, folks, it's that time of year. It's cold outside, which means it's time for court sports. We're talking tennis, pickleball, basketball, all those sports that you can play indoors. Don't let nagging pain affect your ability to enjoy your sports time. QC Kinetics is here to help. QC Kinetics here in Little Rock is going to help you build your body's comeback story, powered by the very cells that built you in the first place. No surgery, no pain pills, no long recovery. Just your body remembering how to feel alive again. With QC Kinetics, healing is within reach. And guess what? Those sports I was mentioning earlier are a bit more fun when you're performing well and you're winning. QC Kinetics will help you get back to those winning ways. Schedule your free consultation today. It's a great time to do it, to use your HSA and FSA for treatments. Call 501-214-5880. That's 501-214-5880. Call QC Kinetics to schedule your free consultation today.
I'm Kyler Sanson. Me being in the construction industry and having 2 young kids at home, health insurance is vital. I got a call saying that my plan was going to be canceled at the end of April. Got on the phone with Farm Bureau and I got in touch with an agent. Took me about 30 minutes, and then about 3 days later, I was approved. So with Farm Bureau Health Plans of Arkansas, I'm saving close to $300 a month. You cannot find this plan anywhere else. Get after it and get it.
Farm Bureau Health Plans of Arkansas. Trusted coverage, personalized plans, affordable premiums. Learn more at arfbhealthplans.com.
Superstars Joe Klein and Pat Bradley for Arkansas's #1 sports app, Bet Saracen.
Joe, you know the main difference between Bet Saracen and those other guys?
Definitely. Easier to navigate. Always good parlays. Plus, lots of fun choices. Like ping pong. Right there on the app.
But the real difference are those special promos.
Brand new players get a 100% profit boost just for downloading the Bet Saracen app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-GAMBLER.
All right, folks, it's that time of year. It's cold outside, which means it's time for court sports. We're talking tennis, pickleball, basketball, all those sports that you can play indoors. Don't let nagging pain affect your ability to enjoy your sports time. QC Kinetics is here to help. QC Kinetics here in Little Rock is going to help you build your body's comeback story, powered by the very cells that built you in the first place. No surgery, no pain pills, no long recovery. Just your body remembering how to feel alive again. With QC Kinetics, healing is within reach. And guess what? Those sports I was mentioning earlier are a bit more fun when you're performing well and you're winning. QC Kinetics will help you get back to those winning ways. Schedule your free consultation today. It's a great time to do it, to use your HSA and FSA for treatments. Call 501-214-5880. That's 501-214-5880. Call QC Kinetics to schedule your free consultation today.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
With Target, gifting has never been easier. This Saturday and Sunday, Target gift cards are 10% off with Target Circle. Treat everyone on your list to something you know they'll love. Gift cards for the trendsetters, the techies, the fashionistas, the foodies, and even yourself. The perfect time to save is now. This deal is a yearly fave, so hurry. Get more gifting for your buck and save 10% on Target gift cards with Target Circle for 2 days only. Only at Target. Restrictions apply.
Out of Bounds, live from the Guatney Chevrolet studio.
Somebody hand me a cigarette. I know I ain't had one in over a week. Somebody pour me a double shot. Been getting better by the day, but tonight I drink. You say I gotta get over you and get sober too. I got a lot of habits I gotta kick. Way out all your eyes.
Back at it. I forgot to tease Brian Edwards, VegasInsider.com. See if he's got some good picks for us. SEC championship game, Big Ten championship game. It's going to be a great weekend for college football. Also got high school football. Don't forget about that this week on The Buzz. Starts tonight with the 8-man championship. And then tomorrow at noon, the 2A championship. All night, Saturday noon, Saturday night. The Buzz, your home for the high school football championships. Get to Brian in just a second. Let's bring in Jimmy and Roland real quick. What's up, Jimmy?
Hey, Wes. Hunter mentioned today that he couldn't disclose or whatever. I don't think he even knows how much money he has, nor any other school for that matter. So how does he know that where it will be in the top half with NIL? And I'm going to hang up and listen.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. He didn't want to disclose and use the excuse he didn't want others to know what they had, what Arkansas had, and have an advantage. But then it goes the other way, doesn't it? Are other schools just putting it out what they have and what they can do as far as spending? Yeah. That's where we are with Hunter Yurachek. We kind of second guess everything he has to say. Let's bring in Brian Edwards. What's up, Brian? How are you?
What's up, Wes? How we doing?
I'm good, man. It's good to hear from you. Let's we got some great weekend ahead of us. Before we get started, anything tonight? Cowboys, Lions?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Lions. I know that, they've had a lot of injuries, but they are incredible in bounce-back situations. In fact, in the last 12 the last 12 games, they've been coming off a loss in the regular season. Going back to early November of 23, they've won all 12 of those games. They've covered in 11 of them, the only non-cover against the Giants several weeks ago. And they've won 10 of them by double-digit margins. I know your Cowboys are hot, Wes, and good on them. 3-game winning streak, but 2 of them at home. The road win was in Vegas, and the Cowboys are still 2-4 straight up, 3-3 ATS on the road. Now, I got 3. I noticed a few books have moved to 3.5.
Yeah.
I'm not nearly as bullish at 3.5, that's for sure.
Somebody was asking about over-under tonight. I thought it was a little high at 54.5. I think with the Lions offense struggling a little bit, Cowboys defense playing better, I kind of like the under tonight.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little high for me. I mean, my first thought was to think the over, but I was hoping for like 48.5 or 49. I thought it was a little inflated.
Okay.
Brian, let's stick with NFL and let's look at Bears-Packers this weekend.
Yeah, man, the Bears are hot. They've won 5 in a row. They have won 9 of 10. They're 8-2 against the spread during that stretch. Caleb Williams is playing good ball. I mean, he's still a little erratic at times, but he's not turning it over. The last 5 games, 8-1 TDINT ratio. And the Packers haven't been, I mean, they haven't been terrible, but they haven't been dominant at home by any means. 4-2 straight up, 3-3 ATS. And whereas the Bears on the road, 5-2, both straight up and ATS. So now if your number 6.5, I would buy it to 7. And I would do a little bit of the money line. I've seen it in the plus 230 to plus 270 range, but the main play being Bears plus 7.
Okay. We'll get to the SEC championship game, Big 10, Big 12 here in a bit. But you know what? There's always a chance to make money, even if it's in the Conference USA championship between Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State. You got a feeling here?
I do. I like Jacksonville State plus the 2.5. Not only are they undefeated at home this year, but they've won 11 in a row at home, going 9-2 against the spread. They played Kennesaw State at home. And by the way, it is a legit, home game, even though it's conference championship. They played Kennesaw State at home November 15th. They won 35-26. Jack State has got running back Cam Cook, who leads the nation in rushing yards with 1,588, 15 rushing touchdowns, 5.7 yards per carry average. And Kennesaw State has had a breakout year, but they're only number 102 nationally against the run, and they haven't been as good on the road where they're 3-3, both straight up and against the spread.
What about the SEC championship game? Let's go to it. Alabama, Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, since Matthew Stafford threw that touchdown in overtime in the corner of the end zone, Saban's first year in 2007, Alabama's 10-1 against Georgia, and truth be told, if Jameson Williams and Mechie don't blow their knees out, Georgia would not have won that game in Indianapolis, in my opinion. So until I see Georgia beat Alabama, I'm gonna stay on Bama. Now, I don't think there's much difference between the plus 2.5 and whether it goes to 2 or 1.5. So I'm just waiting. I'm hoping a clean 3 pops. But I like Alabama to win outright. But I'm just waiting on hopefully getting a clean 3 later in the week.
Big 12, Texas Tech and BYU.
Yeah, shame on me for not being on Texas Tech like all year long. I've had their team total over a couple times, but obviously missed out on a good opportunity to make money. They're 11-1 straight up, 10-2 against the spread. Only lost at Arizona State when Sam Leavitt was healthy. They've already played BYU. They beat them 29-7 at home as a 13.5-point favorite. But in that game, they settled for short field goals from 27, 39, 29, and 34. They normally don't get bogged down in the red zone like that. I love Texas Tech here, and I also like their team total over. It's 30.5 or 31. And they've scored at least 34 in 10 of 12 games, and they're second in the nation in scoring with a 47.1 points per game average.
Yeah, I like that one too. Let's go to the Big 10 championship. Indiana, Ohio State, 1 versus 2.
Yeah, no pregame bet for me, but I want to get Indiana, but I need a better number. So I'm just hoping Ohio State gets out to an early lead. and I'll probably jump for a little bit on Indiana if I can get +7 or better live or at halftime. Now, if Ohio State gets a bigger lead and I can get Indiana plus double digits, presuming no injury to Mendoza or presuming, the eye test isn't telling me that Ohio State's like much better in the trenches, I would get fairly heavy on Indiana if I can get them plus double digits live or at halftime.
Brian, UFC 323, what do you have this weekend?
Yes, so in the prelims opener, which will be on ESPN2 at 7 Central, I like Nazim Sadikov at +115 as underdog. He's 4-0-1 in the UFC, and he's had some banger fights. He's fun to watch. And then I'll also go on the prelims, Terrence McKinney, +135. He's won 4 of his last 5 fights. And then in the co-main, I'll go with the champ, Alexander Pantoja, to win by submission, +150.
Outstanding. Good picks. That'll get us off to a good start this weekend, I hope, and have a great weekend. Brian, thanks, man. Take care, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, all. Have a great weekend.
Brian Edwards with us, VegasInsider.com. Let's take a couple calls before we hit this break. Charles is in Arkadelphia. We'll start with Charles. What's up?
I'd just like to ask if the new coach has got him a defensive coordinator and defense,
he has
stuff like that.
Yeah, he has not announced a hire yet, Charles, and he talked about that today. That drop the mic. That will be coming next. He's working on his staff. Hunter Yurchek teased us that we would see the improved and the bigger contribution. The commitment is the word he used for more resources when they hire the staff. That he will have the money to go out and hire these coaches, and he kind of teased us. He being Silverfield. That he's going out and getting some guys with SEC experience, NFL experience, and these are guys that are going to excite the fan base. So, but no, to answer your question, we don't know about a DC yet. Jason is in CrossFit. What's up, Jason?
I'd like to ask y'all 2 questions, and they both concern the SEC thing.
Say again, you broke up. It concerns what? You're breaking up. You there, Jason?
Hello?
Yeah, you're breaking up really bad. I didn't hang up on him. He hung up on us. I couldn't understand a word he was saying. We'll take a break. When we come back, we can take more calls. We'll hit the D3 Auto Sales text line and wrap this up. What a day. It's been kind of crazy around here. It was a short show for us, not a whole lot of talking, but a lot of going on behind the scenes. Stick around, it's Out of Bounds.
Hey folks, this is Mitch Ward, proudly serving the great state of Arkansas with Red River Auto Group for over 20 years. We started as Arkansas's #1 Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep dealer, but we've also got Ford and Toyota. And I like to think we've got the largest discounts than anybody in the state. But folks, really, if you bring us any reasonable deal right now, we're going to try to put something together. If that means us giving a little too much for your trade or selling ours for just a little too cheap or fighting for the best rate, we're going to make it happen. Check us out at redriverauto.com.
Christmas isn't about what's under the tree. It's about making every moment special. Building memories that outlast the wrapping paper. Making the most of every acre. Teaching the next generation right. That's why Greenway is rolling out weekly offers on the gear that keeps you running and the John Deere gift that makes their eyes light up. This year, give a gift built for all things special to you.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Hi, this is Ted Upshaw from Accountable Roofing and Remodeling. Let us bring our over 30 years of experience to your next project. We are certified shingle masters, licensed, bonded, and insured. Are you one of the thousands of Arkansans who has received a non-renewal notice from your insurance company due to the age or condition of your roof? We can help. We offer multiple financing options from help with your deductible all the way down for zero down for the entire project. Call today for your free evaluation, 501-621-0500, or visit us at accountablerr.com.
Arkansas Municipal Equipment in Poen, founded over a decade ago by Daniel and Vanessa Ellison. They lease and sell trucks, trash carts, roll-off dumpsters, and street sweepers. Proud to be Arkansas's only authorized dealer for New Way refuse trucks and Timco street sweepers. Your authorized dealer for Galfab roll-off and hook lift trucks. You can get parts and service for all makes and models with technicians traveling the state to take care of you.
AME, it's the service after the sale.
We all make plans for the future, but car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter Agent Kyle Stone in Pine Bluff, Justin Stewart in Malvern, or Drew Self in Hot Springs today.
Each day at the Arkansas School for Mathematics, Sciences, and the Arts begins with curiosity and ends with discovery. In labs, studios, and beyond, learning takes shape in bold ways. As a tuition-free residential high school, ASMSA brings together students from across Arkansas to live, learn, and grow in an early college community. ASMSA, where talent thrives. Begin your journey at asmsa.org/thrive.
Proudly serving Little Rock and the surrounding areas, All About Tire and Brake Tire Pros is your trusted one-stop shop for all your automotive needs. We know that tire needs and auto repair services can be stressful and unplanned, but at All About Tire and Brake Tire Pros, we offer fast and simple financing for everyone. Whether you're looking for new tires or any kind of auto repair, we have your financing needs covered. Visit us in Mapleville or Little Rock today or online at allabouttireandbrake.com. Tire Pros. Love the drive.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio. Gwatney Chevrolet. Driving, trust every mile.
All right, final segment. Glad you're with us. Thanks for hanging out today. We'll take some more calls. See, Jason is going to give it another try. If you want to jump in here, 661-1037. We'll finish up on the D3 Auto Sales text line. Let's go, Jason. Fingers crossed. Better line?
Okay.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. I wanted to ask you 2 questions, and they both concern the SEC and the SEC game. Now, I don't think that Georgia will not benefit by losing over Alabama's win. But I want people to think about this, and I'd like to get y'all's opinion on it. The teams that won the conference last year and went on to get the bye to the quarterfinals of the playoffs, all of them lost the quarterfinal game. And it seems as though, Ohio State had to win 4 games to win the national title. I'd just like to know what y'all think about that, because I don't see it being that big of a deal if Georgia doesn't win the championship on Saturday, and it may be better off for them to play, to play the 4 games. What do you think about that?
All right, Jason, thanks for the call. I know putting this on the high school level, some of the coaches that get buys, they appreciate the time off and resting some of the players and getting healthier. But a lot of coaches like just having that same structure of Monday film study, practice, Tuesday, and you stay with that same routine, all of a sudden you have a bye, it throws you out of the routine, and you don't get to play on that Friday night while the other team's playing. They already got that experience of playing one game, work out the jitters. It can work against you, and a lot of coaches would just rather play. I think it'll be interesting to watch this year and see if the same scenario happens, all four teams losing. They got the bye, or if it was just one of those oddities. Will it continue to be a trend, or is it just one of those years where it all happened that way? Georgia's going to be fine no matter what happens. I mean, they're a good team, and a good team can go and doesn't matter. They can win 3 in a row if they lose the SEC championship game. I was surprised, and I know the trend with Alabama. I was surprised that Brian went with Alabama. I just like the way this Georgia team is playing right now. See here, D3 Auto Sales text line. 501 says, Wes, you're well connected. Any inklings as to possible defensive coordinators that would excite the fan base? I have not heard one single word about the defensive coordinator or the offensive coordinator. I guess that's something I'll start digging in, finding out what some of the word is. 501 says it better not be John Chavis that they bring back for a coordinator. I'll promise you it's not John Chavis. I think, is he a volunteer coach at a high school these days? He may be already retired. Don't think you have to worry about that one. 501 says a good question for your check is, when was he watching all these football games for the playoff committee? Maybe when he was flying around from interview to interview. They did a lot of flying. And so when you're on the plane, you got these games downloaded and you're able to watch them? I don't know. 901 asks, will Ole Miss play LSU next year? Yes. They are permanent opponents. LSU's permanent opponents are Texas A&M, Arkansas, and Ole Miss. So, yes, you get to watch the Kiffin Bowl for the next 4 years at least. Well, as long as he stays there. 501 says, forgot to say, Arkansas football built the basketball, baseball, track and field programs. People forgot that. Yeah, back when Arkansas was successful in making money and distributing that money to different programs. 870, wondering if Silverfield announced who may be coming as the OC or DC. No, that was not part of today's press conference. We did not hear any of that. 501, or they did not reveal any of that because it hasn't happened yet. 501 says, I heard the news conference with Razorback head coach Silverfield. I found it very encouraging that he spoke about several of the key elements that I've often heard used by Harding University head football coach Paul Simmons, meaning the attention to detail, practicing to give 100% effort in all areas, finding ways to win, off-season conditioning, accountability in meeting high standards. Go Hogs. And for this Saturday, let's go Bison. Yeah. Good luck to Harding. Stat in Conway. Stat of the week. Silverfield has a winning percentage of 66%. However, looking at 23, 24, and 25, his overall winning percentage is 75%. And the 4 games he lost this year were by an average of 7 points. The Hogs' record during that time was 48%. I like the 75% winning a lot better. Stat, let's just hope that equates to the SEC. 501 says Mark May on the buzz this morning says take the over. Okay. I'm still taking the under. Zach in Palestine. Curious if you were on Silverfield at all when I sent this message on 11/4. I remember that, Zach. We were at Twin Peaks.
Well, what does the message say?
Remember I was giving some hints, and it was a Power 4 coach still playing, and that's why, I didn't want to reveal who they were on, and, out of respect, even if I found out they were going to hire this guy, I thought it would be best to wait until after the season, not to jeopardize anything that could, make a deal fall apart. And he was trying to read through some of my hints or just some of the details, and he was asking me, is it Silverfield? It was not Silverfield at the time. Now, I was told Silverfield, when they interviewed him one of the first times, wanted the job. It was like, I'm in. I'll take it. And he even told us that today. His quote was, when Arkansas called, I got excited. And that's what I was told, that Silverfield was ready to take the job at that point, and Arkansas was like, wait, we're still interviewing people. We still got some, some other discussions and other guys to interview. But it all roads came back, yeah. And it led to Silverfield at the end. Randall says, the problem the last caller was referencing started on the back of a Harley Davidson. That goes back to a caller last hour when he was talking about how this program has been. It's been a failure for a while now. Yeah, and it's been going on for a long time, Randall. 501 says, I will be the first to say it. I was very mad Sunday morning when Ryan was hired, but he did more for in-state recruiting in day one than Sam did in 6 years. I am excited for Silverfield now, and I'll support him every Saturday. I do think Hunter needs to go. Jason and Benton. I think today was 4 softball questions in the press conference. I like the hints they made that seemed to point to a type of sniper big donor gifts, like tell a donor we'd like to get a specific player and they could help out with that one player, the way Mr. Fletcher did with Taylon Green. We seem to have nice incoming operating money now in general NIL. Let the big donors target specific flips and commitments. That way it's like a sponsorship. Jason, thank you for your text. .501 says, this is Eric and Benton. Everything he said sounds good. I hope he can back it up. I am fired up. All right. These are some that I'm trying to get back to, some of the ones from earlier today, but that was getting some reaction because we had a lot of different reaction. Omahogs, thanks for carrying the press conference. I'm working on a skid steer, but was still able to listen to the entire thing on the radio. Coach is saying the right things and is quickly changing my opinion of the hire. 501 says the press conference was incredibly underwhelming. If this was the first call that Hunter actually made, he ought to be fired for that. Your first phone call is to the Memphis coach. That says a whole lot. This guy is already using gimmicks like the last 2 coaches did. I'm so sick of hearing it. His speech was robotic, and at no point did he feel comfortable just speaking instead of rehearsed everything. That's not Arkansas culture.
Yeah, some of it did sound rehearsed, and he did mention a couple of times he wasn't going to give coach speak, but you get a lot of that from these pressers.
615 says, I think we're about to go on a nut kind of run for 5 years. Good seasons with a great one sprinkled in. Looking forward to some exciting football. Saban's gone. We can be competitive in the conference. So there's an optimistic one. Here's another one. Wait 11 months till the honeymoon is over. We'll be complaining about a non-conference loss. 501 says, let's normalize a new coach's press conference being a few days after he's put in some time. Much more on the information during this press conference. I agree. I had 0 problems waiting from Sunday until Thursday for the press conference. I mean, he hit the ground running. He had to recruit.
Yeah, it really shouldn't matter when the press conference
It really doesn't.
It could have been 2 weeks from now. It does not matter when the press conference is. As far as, of course, you want to formally introduce the coach and you want to hear from him, but it doesn't matter that it was later in the week and everything was official on Sunday.
And I want y'all to know, this isn't just today or, his day's not done. Like, he is now about to go to a different thing at 4:15 to meet with a lot of the donors and the people at the University of Arkansas, the faculty. So it's almost like a day-long thing. I mean, that was an hour press conference, so it's taken up a lot of his day. And now that signing day is underway and started yesterday, and I'm sure they're still recruiting a guy or two, seeing if they're going to flip or if they're going to commit and sign. But this is a busy day. When he's got so many other things to take care of, I think it's probably a good thing they wait a little bit. Give him some time. Charles in Arkadelphia says, is Arkansas's new football coach going to get a new defensive coordinator? If so, who it is? Yeah, Charles, he is. We know he is. He's going to get a new defensive coordinator, but we do not know who it is. 501 says, Wes, I never thought I'd see the day when Penn State football would be in a rapid free fall in recruiting to the point they have fallen below McNeese State in recruiting rankings. Unfathomable. It is pretty wild. Wes, what do you think about Hunter Yurachek's comment about the donor meeting Silverfield the first time at the game last night, seeing his personality and how he was interacting with the students and making a 7-figure donation on the spot? I thought that was pretty awesome. That's exactly what we need. I think it's huge. I think that you get that kind of a coach that's impacting the donors, and Silverfield told us during his press conference he has experience in fundraising. He knows how to do it. He knows how to work the room. I think that's huge.
Coach Silverfield, speaking of him being busy and moving around, he will be on drive time to begin.
Wow. Good get for Randy. Yeah, it's coming up in about 7 minutes. You'll get to hear from Coach Silverfield. Then he has his other obligations, I think, at 4:15. That was fun. Fun day today. Coming up tomorrow, don't forget, we've got the 2A state championship game at noon. That means Joe and I will get a later start tomorrow, probably around 2 o'clock, somewhere around the 2 o'clock hour. Lee Sterling will join us tomorrow. Joe and I will make our picks. We'll get ready for the Arkansas basketball game at North Little Rock. Talk a little high school football, NFL, Cowboys, Lions. It'll be a fun but short show. We'll cram it all in. Hope you can join us tomorrow after the 2A game. But stick around. Ryan Silverfield coming up next on Drive Time Sports.
Oaklawn is here.